Two, baby.
Overtime.
Bitcoiners have been locked and loaded. They're ready. So we'll see everyone very soon, hopefully tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Get it, Bitcoiners.
Go, Buds, go.
It's all good. Might be 2:02, but that just means it was you guys were in the penalty box for an extra couple minutes over there. The Bash Brothers doing their thing. We're back, and as cool as a hot dog, you can't say cucumber. You gotta.
Yeah, cucumbers aren't like a great topping for a hot dog, but I think
it's a horrible topping for a hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a little bit of crispiness to it. You know, you get some
relish. Yes.
Yeah, relish. Yeah, it's pickled. Yeah, pickled cucumber. Yeah, exactly. Actually, good point there.
Some people say cucumbers taste better pickled.
Yeah, exactly. I like relish. I like pickles. I'd throw pickles on the hot dog for sure. Uber down here to 70, so that's going to be a key level. I mean, we're just listening to what some of those guys are talking about right into here, into the close. It looks like the market wants to get lower. So we are short SMCI right now. We heard that report there.
Quo.
Yeah. I don't know. I was kind of waiting for 30 to come through. That didn't really happen. So then we just heard there that, just into some issues. It was not a big of a story there. Minchi Quo. Well, we can get that again from Adara. But yeah, we'll go short SMCI right now. And then we're up on Google today. Google's going to be a good stock for us, but we just left it right here. We were buying it, getting out, buying it down here. We all know what we did. There's the move down on the fact that ChatGPT was also going to have a search. I mean, we already know all that stuff, but Google continues to get hit today. We had talked about why we liked the relative strength versus the market. The market is down right now, almost 2.5. Wow, the NASDAQ, man, just keeps on going lower here. But anyways, I don't mind NASDAQ and Google to go for a bounce. The reason why we don't mind that is right now we're at 20,000. So we've bounced off of this level before. I heard Joe and Sharif talk about that. We could be getting into that bouncing situation right now. We're right at that exact level. So nothing wrong with trying to put on some longs here to see if something will work, especially if you're looking at the futures. But at that break of 20,000, I mean, that gets us pretty low. This is already a pretty epic move considering we had Microsoft and Meta. Everyone loves those names. And then we're always worried about, we heard Sharif again talk about Apple and things like that. That's going to be coming tonight. So that's 19.9. So there's really no support once you break right here until we get down to at least 100 handles down. About 80 handles down is that 19.2. And then down into here where we bounced before, 19.840. I think if we lose 20, this is a problem. So there, look at that. Wow. Instantly a bounce. So there you go. Bounce off of that exact low again. Just be patient right now. We're going to go over some names that everyone has for us. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But for right now, we'll just sit back and relax and take some Uber long and some SMCI short.
Taking Uber to the station, hopefully. As the market's making, like you said, the market's making its best attempt. The only position I'm in is SMCI, which was, it was almost like double barrel because that news came out right here just before 2 o'clock, before we came back on for you guys. And it was trending back up. I was short VWAP a few times on SMCI. And then when VWAP lost, it resumed a new trend. It broke that trend. So giving to the high and then retracement into VWAP probably would have taken that anyways. We do have a poll, by the way. I don't know if you highlighted our poll. Obviously, ding dong, trick or treat. Well, I'm going to say trick because the market's down, so I don't know. But we'll be giving out treats tonight.
I think there should be a third choice, trick, treat, or trade, because some people...
Trade.
All right, both these positions right now, you want to talk about trading, both now starting to go into the money right here with Uber and SMCI. SMCI right here, we're not going to take 10 cents. I am bidding a little bit lower than that. 29 flat. So if we can get into 29 flat or so, let's see that hold again. We're bidding right into there. We'll see if it holds 29.10. Let's put an order at 29.10. See if we get that fill for 30 cents, and then we'll wait for hopefully I don't know. People are going to be long and short this name anyways, but hopefully for our sake, a short comes through for SMCI. All right, Sharif is ready to rock and roll. He's got the next jersey on. Okay, how many jerseys does this guy bring today? Sharif over at the screen.
Probably just 2.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. The big kahunas, they look funny, they're locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at the stocks as decided by you. So join us during that midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers, but only the top 5 make it on. And it's a subs-only chat, so you got to sub. All right, let's look at the index or the indices over here. The NQ really taking it on the chin today. Obviously, that's the triple Q's 2.4% in the negative, worst off of the four. The Russell down 1%. The Dow faring the best, only down 0.75%. And the ES also taking on the chin 1 2/3 last time I checked. Let's start with the favorite ticker as decided by you guys. Meta beating on the top and bottom line. Excellent report so far, but the street was a little annoyed with how much money they're spending. CapEx being spent aggressively on Reality Labs and the AI build out. Also, their daily active users just fell short, even though, guys, it's about 3.33 billion daily active users.
I like it.
I mean, I think it has a little bit ways to go for Meta. You know, again, Meta's going to be pretty much a holding of most people that are watching the show that at least have some sort of an investment portfolio. If not, you know, it's in the major indexes. But I look at this move. We've seen these moves before. We've talked about, not to be surprised, but by the way, now Uber's finally starting to go back up to the upside right now. We've seen these moves before of 20 or 30% to the downside. Just right here back in April, we go from 530 down to 420. So that lost $100 on 530. So that's 20%. Right there, 540 down to 440 again, basically. So that's another $100. So if we're at 600 right now, we could lose another $100, which will put us right in the 200 period moving average. So for me, I think Meta's a buy into here. I'd let this quarter sort of wash out a little bit. If it wants to get down, that's fine. Down 5% is not the end of the world. We're only back to where we were last week, you know, trying to hold. So that does suck. You never were, for me anyways, we saw Google sort of base bump. This bumped before earnings. It was at all-time highs yesterday. So I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, that one quarter does not mean this goes all the way back to all-time highs. Like, you got to let it shake out. The shorts are going to want to win. It's still moving less than what we thought it would today, only down 4.5%. You know, this can have violent moves. It hasn't really. It had up and down, but trend down. NASDAQ going downside. I think the down is right for now. There's Uber again. So we did rebuy there down at 70. So those were good opportunities to buy. And right there, we just touched into 45 again. So let's just start taking some out 50 period and then again here at 40s, 25 cents in the money on Uber. But yeah, Meta, I mean, to be expected. I feel like whenever you're at all-time highs, you really, really have to beat, not just sort of come in line and then not talk too much about the quarter. So we'll wait to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to add. Like, either you're already be bidding in front of the 50 period moving average or wait for it to, you know, settle down for a couple of days and make the bid. I'll candidly say, like, I was looking to add to Meta anyways, so I just didn't even bother waiting. I bought over lunch because, like, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. I considered myself relatively underweight. I was deciding between, you know, like, which one I wanted to buy first between Alphabet and Meta, and I just decided it was going to be Meta. I thought the quarter was fine. And they're spending money in a place that I think they're a space that they're going to win ultimately. So I do like that. And, you know, if you get another big pullback, it's a long-term hold anyways. As far as trading today, maybe you do get it. It's possible that you could get down into the 50 period with the market down 2.5%. I guess if we were to turn that into a 3% day, then maybe you could find that support and we could be trading off that 560. Seems a little bit unlikely though. Let's get into some Tesla. Tesla's about to get to that 250.
Coming into the low of the day right now is Tesla, guys. No specific catalyst for this, obviously, but there is this little tidbit. Chinese EV behemoth BYD topping Tesla's revenue for the first time since 2022. We know these two have been locked in a duel, but who can deliver more electric vehicles? It's still been Tesla with the pure EV deliveries. Obviously, BYD involved in hybrids as well as some ICE engines. But yeah, interesting look today for all these Mag 7s, guys.
Yeah, Tesla coming in at 250.
I have a beef with that stat. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Tesla shareholder. But BYD does hybrids, right? So I know, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen that stat so many times, and it's not only with BYD that you see that. There's a lot of times there's a lot of apples to apples or apples to oranges comparisons that get made. I'm not taking anything away from BYD or any of the other EV makers. I just feel as if, you know, sometimes they bandy about these stats and they're a little bit unfair. But 250 is what we need to be concerned about today for Tesla. 55, 50, 65, 70. I mean, it's just been obvious every $5 level. And since we got back to that recent high, I mean, there it is at 270, and then pull back. It was trying to hold on to 255 today. It didn't. You can see that 250, nice consolidation. That was the day after the earnings where it was able to sort of break away. I did have a short back into VWAP and the 55 level that I held to the low of the day, but I think you're going to look for a 250 test here, maybe a little bit of a bounce play off the 250 level this afternoon. So I think we're about $1 away from it as we speak. It's that next leg down for Tesla. I think it does make sense that you are going to find some liquidity in there. Big level from pre-earnings, post-earnings, I should say, that day after. Still a healthy pullback. You're still in a healthy pullback phase for Tesla, not quite 10% off of that local high. I think the test of 250 is incoming, and I got to go back to there is another thing that could be happening. We're back in range of Rivian losing that $10 level. So I keep... I say this every time this stock gets to $10, the bottom underneath here is like $9.75, and every time we get within it, the flat bottom break is incoming.
Oh God!
It's got to break that 10 first, but you can see it was trying to bounce, couldn't get past 11, and we're right back in here. It seems like it's just a matter of time for this EV name. See, I mean, Tesla looks very good compared to this.
We have a special Trader Talk coming very, very soon. So we'll have Andrew Rader coming with a very, very special Trader Talk. So stay tuned for that. It's 2:13. We'll be doing that just after the rundown.
Yeah,
so we'll do that around 2:30. He'll hit us up, and then we'll have something special for you in and around 2:30. The very special and one and only Andrew Rader from Ohio will be joining us shortly for a Trader Talk. All right, it's Sharif again back over there. It looks like, you know what? Amazon, interesting name. Let's talk about Amazon.
They report tonight, Sean. It's an important report. Another Mag 7 name, though, at the day's low right now. AMZN down about 3. I see 3.6% or so. What I'm looking for, obviously, is how well the AWS continues to grow. It's the biggest of the three. We've seen Google really increase cloud revenue. Also, how is the actual e-commerce business doing? Is the consumer tapping out? So lots of unanswered questions today for Amazon and their advertising game. They're in advertising now, so I want to hear about that, as that's obviously a high margin business, guys. But yeah, at the low.
Some of the Mag 7 can't win today,
Correct.
Unfortunately. And you know what? There's no such thing as good or bad earnings for the names that did report. It's just the price action. I think that's the same thing here with Amazon. Now, we get them tonight. I think they are at the bell or at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
They're usually like right away. So that should be a wild one. Just be careful. Don't fat finger trades, everybody. But the 50 period and the 200 period are very much in play, I think, after market. Now, for the trade this afternoon, 184, prior support, 50 period. Oh, no. Oh, I lost my 15-minute chart. So that 184 looks like it's going to be the level to watch here if we do drop any further. The trend reversal could be in play, but I'll tell you right now, like I could slap a trend line on this, but the last time I did that, I think you got to wait for big levels, was on Alphabet. There's a big drop in Alphabet, consolidation, slapped a trend line on it, went long into it. When it broke out, stop underneath, it said no, and then regain the trend line. I think you just have to be very nuanced with any of these bounce plays. They're bamboozlements on the big cap tech names. I find that, I don't know, it's something that I've been like looking at. Those plays work much better on non-Mag 7 names. Like the ones that are heavy in the index, they don't seem to work as well, like that technical. Like it work on things like Sofi really well, Roblox, that kind of a thing. But maybe not the Mag 7. It's going to look for support on Amazon at 184, not some kind of trend reverse.
All right, we did take a little bit out here at 25 on SMCI. We took out 5% of our position, and we'll see if we can bleed back in a little bit. We have another 5% waiting at 16s, and then we have another 5% waiting at 29.03. So hopefully that will come back in, and then we'll get out of some more of SMCI. And meanwhile, that's going down, and so is the market. Uber retracing back up, the only two positions that we have on. Both going to be green today. I mean, SMCI position pending, we're only out of 95% of that position on. Amazon's a great short right now. it looks like it's going to break, right? I mean, we're at the day's low. We're also at the day's low on the market, so it's not rocket science that this is also very tippy. This is the market. And if you're going to look at what Amazon's doing today, they almost look identical. And there's the Amazon right now, triple, quadruple touching this bottom. I mean, look, if we could break this 185.50, it's too many times. You know, I don't know. And again, we do have a special Raider talk coming very, very soon. Raider talk coming through very soon. But I mean, I think this break downside right now of 185.50 right here for the day, that's not horrible. Ride that 50 period with it all the way to the downside right there on Amazon. So although obviously we like the stock and I see Randy's there, I mean, no matter how many packages get delivered to all of our houses,
millions.
No matter how many packages get delivered to all of our houses combined around here, Amazon is not getting propped up today, down 4% and looking to go lower. I think we break, and then it is see ya later. And guess what? On National Hot Dog Day, here goes SMCI right there again. It's another 25-cent winner. So 2 positions we put on right now, both in the money 30 cents. We'll see if SMCI wants to get a little bit lower on this one, but decent spot right there. We are out of a whopping 10% of this position, waiting to get more at 29 flat. SMCI, what's good? All right. Oh, Randy's here, and Sharif's about to talk about Ford. So let's go see this story on Ford.
It's a match made in heaven. He's walking away. I wanted him to comment. Yeah, there he is. He's looking at the low of day. Look down, Randy. There he goes. He's looking at the low of the day right now because Ford taking it on the chin again, 1.7% in the negative. If you didn't hear so far, they're suspending the production of the F-150 Lightning for a period from mid-November to early January as the Rogue EV Center in Michigan is to idle. And the company sold about 22,800 of these since the beginning of the year. I think Tesla sells the Model Ys in that quantity in like a week, Randy. So that's a tough look there for Ford.
Randy looking sharp over there.
Hey.
You want to go to this? This was, Randy just sent this to me. This was 6 years.
That's 6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years. Yeah, right here. October 2018. Yeah, 6 years ago. We opened, here's Randy and I, we opened the bell, the market there at the TMX. So there it is right there. Randy, you're a lot skinnier now. I was just telling you that. Wow. Look at that. Randy and I opening the bell there. Well, here's the post right here, man. 2018, it says right here.
I don't know.
What, you went back in time? There is 2018. Anyways, there it is right there. Randy and I goes way back. There's the poppies we got on. Yeah, so that makes sense. So it's about this time. Thanks, Randy, for that picture. Yeah, good memories.
I thought we were doing the show, and then you went and I had to stay. Before YouTube. We were doing that.
I don't think it was before YouTube.
It was before YouTube. Okay, well, I don't know.
Before YouTube. When did we get on? When did we go on YouTube?
No, we. Not
It might have been before we did.
Before
it might have been before YouTube. Yeah,
before YouTube, when we had the gangster setup.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now we have such a lovely setup.
Randy, why does Ford stink, Randy?
He's holding the Maybe you're right.
That's it. Okay.
All right. SMCI is coming back down just a little bit here.
If SMCI just bounced once off 29. I'm taking some out there in front of the 29, and then I had VWAP retrace, and then hold on the last 20%. I didn't trade Ford, you did, so I was going to let you go over Ford, and then I was going to mention why you should be in GM instead.
Okay, so I mean, I had Ford early, but this was just that story again. Ford.NQ. I don't know why we were just looking at it. I guess maybe it was Rivian. But there it comes right now, or Tesla. There it is right there. So we should still be in it. It's at the low of the day. We got out once it broke through VWAP there. We hit that short early and then all the way then into the downside right now for Ford. So Ford continues to make moves lower. I mean, you cannot it's hard to like the stock, but at these valuations, maybe it's a little bit easier. I mean, we were just at 1130. Now you're all the way down to 1030. So chop off 10% off of this name and back into past support. I think you can give it a go if you want to look over the numbers and look at it. I still have some of these shares. It hasn't been a good stock, but at the end of the day, you know, at some point these stocks are buys. Like this was 15 all the way down to 10 and then all the way back. Didn't even clear the 200 there on GM earnings. So just be careful with this name. I still think it goes lower. If you want to buy this, I think you can probably wait for $10. Are we going? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Or you could wait for GM to pull back into the 50 period into $50 and buy a stock on a dip that's actually working. And I don't have skin in the game. I shouldn't say that. I don't have skin in the game in GM. I still own a small amount of Ford shares, which I just keep having like a trail out on them, and I don't actually get rid of them. But this time we're going to get rid of them. And when I do sell those shares, I'm going to put them into GM. But I haven't done it just yet because Ford hasn't really broken the bottom. No, but GM, maybe the 50 period, the 200 period, $50. It's upward trending. They had a great quarter as well. And you still get that exposure to something that's non-Tesla in the EV space and the legacy business as well. So that is, you already saw a Ford chart, and that is the GM chart, and it is gorgeous.
Before we go back over to Sharif, I have a question for you. What's a hot dog's favorite exercise? It is the bun press. The bun press. You know.
When you do leg day 3 days a week, like Sharif, I mean, you got to get one like that.
I'll get some more.
The whole point of a dad joke is it's got to be a dad joke.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not trying to set the world on fire. We are setting the world on fire right now, though.
Easily.
Check out this SMCI trade right here, 50 cents right now in the money. So there it goes, right down into VWAP again. So we just sit right down. Adara says something about some sort of a report, and boom, to the downside goes SMCI. We had to wait for it, right? I mean, it took a while, took a minute. The market trying to break lower. We talked about trying to take this name a little bit lower. Just quickly checking in on Amazon before we go back over there. We said, what about when Amazon breaks? Yeah, what about it? Right there now, it's 20 cents to the downside. That could have been a trade that everyone took as well. We sat in SMCI instead. And it's just funny because as SMCI and the rest of the world seems to be on fire right now, Uber is making its way back up to the upside right here, and Uber's at these highs. So let's not ask too many questions and just get out some more over here on Uber. So we'll punch a little bit more out here at 62, 63 and just, not worry about it. But Uber is going higher, SMCI going lower. All right, let's go discuss Apple ahead of their earnings.
Yeah, great trade to both of you guys on SMCI. Solid look from you guys there. All right, Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo chiming in again today, this time specifically about Broadcom's supply to Apple of about 300 million Wi-Fi chips per year. However, Apple apparently will start reducing its reliance on Broadcom with a design of its own chip being made by TSMC. So we'll keep an eye out on that and how that affects Broadcom separately. As the boys mentioned, Apple to report earnings, I believe, today after the bell at around 4:30. Lots of things in focus, especially the super cycle for iPhones. We've got mixed signals about whether the demand is strong or weak. We've heard other little tidbits there about certain models having higher demand than others, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Specifically, what I'm looking for, though, guys, is the fastest growing segment in Apple right now, and that's services with an 85% gross margin.
They always pull you in, and then once you're in, you can't get back out. They're pulling me back in. And Apple, the patented big cap tech name, Mag 7 name, reports, makes a bunch of money, has growth everywhere, and beats on the top and the bottom, and yada, 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 and then bounces off to 50 period in the aftermarket. You can't do that with Apple today because it's already there. And there's almost no chance that it's going to go give you the 200 period. So I'd like to think if that pattern holds, where essentially there's nothing wrong with the report and it drops anyways, you're probably just looking at support in here at 221. I'm just talking those initial bounces, like 21 and then that 215 area for Apple. It did fail technically. Obviously, it did fail breaking that all-time high. Hindsight being 2020, it's been a short ever since then on Apple. This is it's a little bit different from Amazon and Google and I think Meta as well. Like they're all busting the lows right now, whereas Apple is at least putting in higher lows. So for the moment, if the market can catch a bit of a bid, Apple looks, it's weird to say, down 1 1/3%, but it's half of what the market is down. It's less than what the ES is down. And when the market's at the low, Apple isn't at the low. So this one looks much more intriguing for like a late day bounce into VWAP. Would be nice if we could see the futures start going. When the futures are at 20,000 like this, the NASDAQ, I should say. When the NASDAQ's at 20,000 like this, you're looking for some bounce ideas, and you'd rather be in something that's A, relatively strong, or at least, or A, strong, or B, relatively strong. And Apple at least fits that bill. I'd like to see it break out of this little consolidation trend, make a move into VWAP. But there are names out there that are strong, and only because I mentioned things that are strong. I'm trying to wait for Roblox to maybe get back into VWAP in here. It just hasn't done it. It's going sideways. I think it has a chance to challenge some highs. This one is another big-time breakout on the daily on earnings, which there's so many of these names in the last week. So it could do a consolidation break. Obviously, it's been trending up. I did make a gaffe this morning on Roblox, which I did mention many times. Wait for the stock to open on the New York and then play off the level that you want instead of trying to jump in early. Like I see it bouncing off 50. I see it bouncing off that 49. Now wait for it to open up. But I like this one for VWAP or trace. If the market is going to test that 20,000 and bounce, I like Roblox off 50 and VWAP, and Apple breaking this consolidation.
Yeah, look, Apple coming into earnings here. First of all, Uber, we just took some more out at 70. It's working out well. And then more out on SMCI as that's, right now we're over $1 in the money on these two trades. So we'll just sit in them, and it's been pretty good. So that's a little bit, we're in about like 15% of our net or so far today, like with what we're currently holding. Okay, so Uber, Apple, that's what it was, Apple. We do have coming up very, very soon, we have a very, very special Trader Talk with Andrew Rader coming up very, 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 very soon. But he's going to come up with something right now.
Hey, just want to give a little update on a trade I was looking at. I mentioned Disney. This one started to fall off, but after we kind of tagged this again, like I said, very, very steep reversal back to the upside. So I'm still holding these. But again, with Disney, the principle is this: water and hold principle. Remember that. If it's something Rader taught you, it's water and hold principle. The more times you tag a liquidity level, the more likely it is that the next touch is going to break through.
Great one. Thank you, Angie, for that. How many times does Disney come up to those levels, right? And so at some point, yeah, could break through. I do like that.
Starbucks.
We talked about Amazon. Yeah, Starbucks at $100. We talked about Amazon right here. A very, very similar play to what Andrew was just talking about. How many times, even just today, just as on a day, we talked about it touching these lows. That's once, twice, thrice. And finally, that third time, it does break a little bit lower. So, yeah, okay. So SMCI and looking for the same kind of thing. I mean, I'm looking for the same principle right here. What about a hold of this level at VWAP and at the 200 period? So 28.80 has been held a couple times. We have 40% left still of this trade. So we'll see if it can work out to the downside. Right now, it is going to be SMCI, hoping for a nice move to the downside. But we might have just got one, right? And so I don't want to look too much at this trade and worry about it, like where else can we go? I'm gonna take out one more piece out there. We just punch out at 80, so we get a piece out there at 80. My next bid though was 28.50. Okay, so we're at 28.50. I think that's pretty patient if we're able to wait for that. So let's do that, wait for some 28.50s here on SMCI, and hopefully that will come in for us very, very soon. So remember, we do have in just a matter of minutes, we are gonna have a very, very special Trader Talk with Andrew Rader. So get ready for that in just a little.
We got a super chat.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, actually, before we get to the super chat, Tesla broke 250. Tesla regained 250. It's back upside here. Why am I on Oklo? I'll show Tesla, but we have a super chat in here from David.
What's up, David?
David, what up? We appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. And it is, why did the hot dog bring mustard to the hockey game? Because it wanted to relish the hat trick.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. I mean, that's very, very
we'll flap the jokes around.
Well related there.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much, David, for all the super chats. David, a few super chats. I know in the aftermarket show you've done so as well. So shout out to you. Let's keep them coming. We like those dad jokes.
I am relishing the opportunity for be able to sit here and gather more jokes like that, because quite frankly speaking,
yes.
We like our ballpark franks, which unfortunately will not be happening. Thank you. It's just like my favorite movie tonight I will be watching will be Frankenstein, because there you go. And now we do also have, unfortunately, no more ballpark franks this year. As congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers there.
You can still eat them.
But ballpark. I mean, like be at the ballpark, there's nothing better than maybe having a glizzy there. And,
Dollar hot dog day.
Dollar hot dog day. I never went to any of those. That must have been chaotic.
It's a gong show.
I know.
You literally line up for Toronto Blue Jays at the Rogers Center where they play. They instituted dollar hot dog days. It's like the one Tuesday every single month, and you just basically line up for like a couple of innings, unless you're smart and you go early, and then everybody just gets as many as they can. Like you gotta just get your 5 or 6 or whatever you're gonna eat that one shot because you don't want to be doing it forever. It's a great promotion. It just ends up an absolute gong show. And then of course on top of that, on those days you can't line up to get a beer. It's ridiculous. You can just forget about it because every lineup for concessions is crazy. So Tesla back above $250, did a lit grab underneath 250. Liquidity grab is what I mean. So here is it underneath 250, then this liquidity grab, then breaking out of consolidation back above. So into the long, looking to add to it in front of the 20s if we can get it. And we'll see if it can get to 51, 52. The NASDAQ held on to 20,000, so that's at least a good sign temporarily for the long. Roblox, I don't know if we're going to be able to get VWAP here. You know, I'm pretty sure actually we're not going to be able to get VWAP the way that Roblox is just sliding higher. VWAP's the only place where we had underneath VWAP. Oh, Tesla just lost 250 that fast? Seriously, Tesla? It's like that, eh? Short good, long instantly cannot hold back above the 250 level. This is what Google did. So I'm going to give it one more chance to maybe get back up and make another higher low. When I say this is what Google did on a trend reversal, it's like I was in, broke back above the trend, and then it ended up being good the second time through. So I'm going to play at least a little bit of patience. But it's back underneath 250 and still losing it. So, yeah, the only good trade I've had in Tesla was actually a short, obviously. And then we just got into that one quick, though. Once we lost 250, I want to jump out of it. And so SMCI was a news play, but this was also a mean reversion play, which means get out in front of VWAP and then now trail it to this consolidation off VWAP. So that'll be about 28.90 or a couple of pennies above it for myself, and then hold out for this prior support at 28.20, where it was bouncing on every VWAP drop for SMCI. So I'll be out of this one if it bounces, holds VWAP, and gets back through 28. Call it like 90, but it'll be a few cents above that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for 29. I'm just tweeting this out right here. All right, so Uber, nice move to the downside right there. We're almost out of Uber. So SMCI, again, bunch of outs right now. We still have a third left on this right now. Iran, apparently now they're just hearing in my ear that they're planning a major attack. So look what happened to oil here. Raider's gone. We are going to have a special Raider talk coming up very, very soon. But there it goes, $72 up to 73. So, you know, on this more unfortunate news that there may be more uncertainty in the Middle East and whatnot, you do have a little spike up here in nat gas. You can look at USO. We were talking about XLE and various other opportunities today as well. There goes XLE back up to the upside. SMCI in the equity market not doing too much, but it does look like energy starting to go there. I don't. Crude hitting highs right now. So there goes USO still looking like it wants to go. Crude still going. There goes USO again. Yeah, 73 and change right now. USO really starting to go up on some worries again of Iran, the threats. So, okay, what's up, Adara?
Here's the story that led to that move in oil. I have the cues up here, which did get a bit of a volume spike to the downside, but the price itself still hovering near low of days. Axios reporting that Iran is preparing a major retaliatory strike from Iraq within days. So yes, you heard that right. Iran planning to strike from Iraq within days. It says major retaliatory strike, doesn't say towards what. We know Israel struck over the weekend there. So Iran planning on striking from Iraq as reported here by Axios. Keep an eye on oil. And also some of these travel names could be moving down. If we see that spike in oil, we know those have been moving in antipathy. So lots to keep an eye on here, guys. I will let you know if I hear anything else.
Thanks, Zara. Look, now Indo's going to be in play for me here. So this is, it's like a proxy play, like Indonesian energy. It's got a decent short float. So when oil makes spikes like this, it can tend to, pick up volume. It's about to hit 1 million on vol. And then if it breaks, you have some shorts that end up covering. So eyeballs on the 420 level. This is about 410, 412. If it can hold here, break above 420, look for continuation. If it can pull back into about this 390 where the whole party started, on INDO, going to look for some longs in that one.
All right, so more outs there on SMCI. We have a bunch of bullets to fire still, but we are now out of 2/3 of SMCI as it comes back up there and takes out VWAP again. And again, if I don't take these out, then I don't have the out. So if they rip back up, I got to get more out. So we only have a third left. We talked about that. Hopefully, again, it's going to be a good stock. I mean, we can see the net is fine. This is the only position of SMCI we've had all day. SMCI continues to go on to whatever that is right now. So, okay, look, we promised this. We said right after our rundown that we would have something that's very, very special. We've done it many, many times, and it's Trader Talk. So however we want to set this thing up, let's go live right now to Mr. Andrew Rader. There he is.
Hello.
How's it going?
So I got lost in this office. I tried speaking with the janitor. He couldn't.
You found our janitor there? That looked like
where
Sharif.
I was supposed to go, but
No English. No English.
You know, he didn't speak West Side like I did. So
Right. Okay. Good. So where do you have any idea where you are right now, or?
no. Am I? Let me go check.
Yeah, we would love to see you to come back into the building right here.
That looks familiar.
Oh, there it is. Okay, now you're showing everyone our ceiling, so this might not be. Might have some security breaches happening. Right. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? All right. Wow, man. That
was the fastest Trader Talk we've ever done.
The power of technology there.
It's amazing.
Wow.
We just beamed you right up.
So
we planned that. That was so stupid, but it's so funny. What?
I want to tell you here. We just got word, and I know you were looking at energy. So all jokes aside, I don't know if you have a position on
XLE, but I don't think it was moving that much.
It was.
It is now.
It was moving okay. We just got news. It's okay. It's high.
Okay.
Up about 40 cents. They're up to 89. We're still trying to get back to that high of the day. Okay. Why don't you go back over there and we'll actually do a proper Trader Talk.
Okay. I shouldn't call in and speak with Janitor Sharif.
Ouch.
Security,
right. Security Sharif. Yeah, not Janet.
Security.
Come on, janitor.
Okay, that was not really.
All right. What? So quickly here. Well, let's get some questions because Andrew's going to be here. He is in that XLE position. Maybe we can go over that a little bit because I know that oil and energy markets right now are on people's minds. So with that, we'll go over to Andrew Rader in a couple minutes there. We'll set something up. We'll talk about oil, energy, what's he looking at, why he likes XLE, and maybe what are some of the targets there, option eligible, anything like that. And then if you do have any questions, I'm gonna sort of right now give another job to Bears versus Bulls and sort of ask him that if there are any questions that come through that are half decent there. I mean, Andrew's up there as well, but he's going to be preparing stuff. Send us the note, and we'll make sure to get those through as we'll ask more and more of that. And we have to not forget that we do have Adara who's going to be capturing all of this news for us as well as it is happening. We'll have to watch DJT as well, maybe on this news. But let's go over to Adara.
Just an update there with regards to that Axios report. We did have Axios saying that Iran is planning a retaliatory strike from Iraq within days. They did not say where they're planning on striking, but based on recent context, could potentially be Israel. All we know is Axios reporting that Iran planning on striking Iraq, or planning on striking from Iraq. I apologize there. Anyways, we had oil moving up on that news, but also a bit of a move down here. Cruise lines getting hit, but more specifically airlines. We had AAPL with a move to the downside in that 15-minute chart in today's lows. UAL also taking a bit of a hit. So anything that is in sympathy or antipathy with oil, these oil prices potentially going up, looks like it's sending these airlines and cruise lines to the downside once again here, guys.
Yeah, not looking good for those travel names. And we had a few of those bookings, had a good day today. I mean, at least. I'll check back into the second, but we said we'd trail out on SMCI. It was actually at 92, so 28.92. That just broke consolidation back up. I'll fade it right back at that high again. It was 29.70. If it wants to hold VWAP and give us an entry point off of this 29.5 to 29.60, I really don't mind going on over to it. Roblox just can't seem to get out of its upward trend. There you go. It's still climbing higher. I'm looking for some kind of a dip to join the party. The market heads lower, and Roblox just seems to grind and grind. It's very slow, and then it'll have these spots of acceleration. In the morning was going wild, but like very, very slow, little spots of acceleration. It just did it here. I might have missed a chance at 51.5. I don't want to be caught only looking for a breakout trade on Roblox. But yeah, this is obviously up 20% and looking pretty good. I'd love to jump back over into this one. Apple, which we did say was relatively strong because it wasn't at the lows when the market's at the low. No break of consolidation. Yeah. And then Tesla. Look, Tesla, we got out because it couldn't hold on to the 250. It's still trending down. So no retake of the 250 levels, still making fresh lows. So the bounce off 250 was a fail, but at least we're out of it because it's right back into the lows of the day here on Tesla. Just trying to be patient. And we'll go back to the desk to continue with Mr. Raider.
Yes, sir.
Hola. So we actually just got a super chat from John F. He says, please explain liquidity grabs. Well, you are talking to the right people and the right Mr. Pirate. So Captain Raider can explain liquidity grabs. So if you want to look at this real quick, a liquidity grab is very simple. So whenever you have a predefined range, you have a V shape out of that range and then come back into that range. Now, one thing I like to look for, and I'll kind of give you a bonus to this, the difference between a liquidity grab and a liquidity formed. So liquidity in the market takes time to form. You need time to place orders. You need time to build a position. And so what the difference between a grab is this right here, if you want to throw it in. So predefined range, but also you have the V shape. So you have this right here, and then liquidity form is when you have something like this and you have a drop. In the markets, let's say you wanted to short. You see a liquidity grab. That is a point of pain, so your short would be somewhere back into the range here. But what you can also bet on is if in the future the markets come back to that liquidity grab high, this is a void of liquidity. Because a liquidity grab goes up to a previous liquidity level, grabs, takes off all that liquidity, there's nothing there. In markets, we know moves from two things, an excess of volume or an absence of volume. And so when there's nothing there, oftentimes you will see this act as a slingshot. A great example here I can just briefly think of on SPY here is back here. If you go look at, I think it was in October, yeah, something like right here. If you go and you look at this right here, this was a liquidity grab. Either the top here, something like this, you had a predefined range, you grab it back into the range. When we came back up into the future, you can see how the velocity of buying actually increased through this, and you can actually bet on a break of that. So that is the liquidity grab, and then finally the liquidity form, just real quick so you guys know this. Whenever you have a liquidity formed, a liquidity level will always form just underneath where you chopped here. So whenever you see a chop and drop, the liquidity level you want to short off will be right here because firms will want to defend their positions that they built here, and that's why it's actually before that consolidation.
Those coming, guys.
Nailed it.
Yeah, little super chats in there get our attention. We'll throw them over there to Raider. So thank you for that one, Andrew. And great question because that is a terminology that we often do use.
We'll throw it out there all the time.
And I know Andrew uses that as well. So good call there and good look on that. All right, so I wanted to say here, Peloton, we had some liquidity happening here this morning, that is for sure, and it's kind of stayed there all day. 97 million right now for Peloton, looking to break that 100 mark. And what a good stock it was. We were able to get that. Not many shares, of course, because it was pre-market. We did want 960. We could have got it again. We didn't. At the end of the day, our best outs were only 840s, which are right here. So we did pretty good when we zoom in and look at this move up, which was probably about a third of the trade out. But at the end of the day, we failed back in, and we thought, we had sort of talked about this when this was happening. We thought that $8 rate here was maybe going to hold. We only poked above it once. Then it was past 10 o'clock or coming up to it. It was 10:03 where we get that fill. And I was like, you know what? Let's just end the trade, get out right there. And then that was a mistake as we continue to go back up to the upside. But again, another really positive name on an earnings surprise. I mean, David Einhorn there was talking about a $30 handle on this. That would be a lot, but we've seen weirder things happen. I mean, Carvana, we talked about what 31. That was doing today. That had a Morgan Stanley downgrade to $1 not too long ago, and it was trading at $3 or $4. Now Carvana's at $254 as they put up and then shut up everybody that doubts them on their earnings. As Carvana right there, look at this name. Wow, what a move to the upside right there. If you want to buy cars out of vending machines, man, do I have a business for you. CVNA, let's just, we have no Carvanas here. I have no idea. 12% short float right there. Not even that high. I mean, it's high enough for where we are right now. This name could continue to extend a little bit higher, but the shorts probably getting blown out there a little bit today. We'll see if there's more shorts being added to those that are trading Carvana, but wow. All right, so we said that we had about $1 $1 in the money. Now we have $1.20 in the money on both of these positions, including SMCI, which we hold strong on and wait for that to make a move lower. And then Uber. Uber's the light position. We have a third left on SMCI and only about 10% left on Uber because we were very, very surprised that this name kept on going to the upside. We kept on getting it out at these past highs. Remember where the reload is here at 70. You're now at 70.80. So we're happy so far here with this position. Let us know again. We actually do have more questions to come. So let us know if anyone has anything for Raider. And then if he's going to come in at any time as well to discuss some of his positions. We know Enphase is one that's on lock right now. We know XLE is something that he's looking at. We cleared out of the Home Depot trade yesterday, but a few new ideas coming through. He'll be joining, was with you yesterday on the aftermarket show, and will be with me today. And it's a few
good wild one.
So, yeah, it should be interesting.
A few good earnings. I mean, obviously the biggest earnings play tonight is going to be Intel, and then followed very closely by a small company otherwise known as Amazon, and then a little tiny baby known as Apple. So the big behemoth that'll probably go down 10% is going to... Actually, Intel's so far down, it probably won't go down.
Remember, it's about expectations.
It is about expectations.
Yeah.
The expectations are super low.
Their EPS estimate is minus 2 cents.
They're expected to lose money. If they do a surprise profit...
It could be huge.
Or if they fire the CC... Well,
that's not a bad option.
It really isn't. It's so far down that I think there's some opportunity. There was a question in the chat that I wanted to get to about SoFi very, very quickly, if I can. If I'm allowed, am I allowed to talk about SoFi, Ramin? Am I allowed to? Because someone asked in the chat about SoFi. Can we please go over SoFi? So I'm going to oblige that right now. And SoFi, why is that a Tesla chart? That's what I would like to know, even though I just hit enter. Okay, fine, that one doesn't want to give it to me. SoFi is super strong today, relatively speaking. I know it's down on the day, but you've got to be able to look at what the price action is, right? So yesterday, there was that mean reversion. We did 1140 into VWAP. It was essentially just a dip and a rip on SoFi to come right back, challenge that 1130 level, but I still like the fact that you're trending up. You're holding VWAP when the market is down is always a good sign. And when you pull out, and again, when you pull out the weekly chart on SoFi, it's not a small deal. Oh, why is it? Here we go. Let's go SoFi. Sorry, I was looking at SMCI before. I thought I'd actually hit enter on this. When you look at the weekly chart on SoFi, this is closing above the 50 for like its second week in a row. So that's pretty darn bullish. And then you zoom in even further out over this prior resistance level, closing above the weekly. It could just be the start of something beautiful for SoFi here, with room to about $16 in here. You could argue the $14 level. So I like this. Barring some kind of ridiculous disaster tomorrow, this should close above the 50 period on the weekly chart, sorry, the 200 period on the weekly chart, and that'll be at about $10. Well, I like SoFi. I think it's got some continuation potential going into next week for sure. Candidly, I am a SoFi shareholder. I did sell like a third of mine into that 1060 level the first time through. Liking what we're seeing here, though, and I'm going to hold for that 16.
Yeah, let's go SoFi. Let's go. I mean, the financials have been very, very hot fire. One of the leading, I have to check now because it has pulled back, of course. One of the leading sectors in the S&P 500, what were the XLF and financials? We could see what they are year to date. Hold on, I'm just adjusting my level 2s right here. So here's the XLF. XLF. I don't know. Do they have year to date? Yeah, so there it is. Up 24%. I know XLY. That was another one that we talked about. I think Michael Noss was even bringing this up with Amazon in it, as well as we had the consumer discretionary. That's only up 10% year to date as well. XLY. All right. Trade the pool. We've got the hat on. It is Trade the Pool. It allows traders like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. That's the edge in trading. Here's the exciting part. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program for stock traders for a one-time fee of just $97 or one Disney share, I guess. You'll receive $20,000 in buying power. All you need to do is reach the profit goal. The best part, this limited edition program now has a reduced profit goal and fewer minimum trades required to reach the funded phase. Plus, the profit split has also been upgraded to 70% profits for you, the trader. Don't miss the chance to explore this limited time offer. Join now for free. The link is in the description. Go check it out right there. It's Trade the Pool. then you can get this cool hat there, and you can sport it like this. So that's what we're doing right there. Thanks to Trade the Pool. And again, Neil and I trading with Real Trading, also a prop firm. And yeah, there are lots of advantages, obviously, to trading bigger size, having that risk built in, so you don't have to sort of worry about getting a little bit carried away. My ETF that
You good?
ouch.
Okay.
He's okay. Yeah, I'm all right. You all right? More importantly,
Yeah, we're fine.
he's all right. He's all right.
Making sure.
Fabian is like the jack of literally all trades. Like, I thought Rob should. Where's Rob? Rob normally is.
Rob should be up on
all over
ladders.
that. Man, why are we risking our guy
Or-
Fabian over here?
What's Randy up to?
Obi, get over here, Obi. I want to see what's going on with Obi. Obi's been sitting here, man. This guy has his costume on and everything. Obi, here.
Actually in
I want to
costume.
suck your blood.
Only trader that actually decided to dress up in costume.
I know. This is what I'm saying. Yes, Obi is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen.
The volatility
Yes, he does.
and the liquidity. What's going on, guys?
One
How's
more
it going?
time. Say that one more time into the mic. You want to?
I want to suck the volatility and the liquidity.
All right, there it is. There it is. So Amazon earnings tonight. Have you been trading it today? Are you staying away for that reason?
No, I'm watching the markets. Oh boy, have you guys seen the arachnid today?
Up closer.
Oh,
That's
closer,
all.
Mike. Okay, yeah.
What
Have you
is the
guys seen
arachnid?
the arachnid today?
I have not.
Neil,
No.
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 I only watched
it's looking
the
a little spooky.
I only watched the Nasdaq. I only watched the Nasdaq.
Yeah.
The SPY is what he's meaning there because
it's bloody, man. No, where's the bounce? There's no bounce.
Yeah.
right now, what is the SPY down? The
Foul.
Nasdaq down right now,
Selling on
2.6, man. The ES right now down 1.7%. And I think you might be right here, Obi. We do not see any bouncing spots, but we are at the bottom. We've touched here 3 or 4 or 5 times. We'll see if we can hold 570. I know Raider was looking at a 570 level. Are you going short if that breaks, or what is your idea here?
Oh boy, no. I mean, I traded it once. The reversion did not revert, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that. The market's gonna sell off. The market's gonna sell off. So.
Speaking of reversion,
It's like we all have our catchphrases.
There was a beautiful
Tesla's
one
trying.
today. We talked about Root.
Root, yeah, Neil.
That was
called
the big
up
one.
right there. I haven't looked at Root yet.
now I think
was
I
huge.
paid for locates on Root and then didn't get it.
You don't want to dig too far into that one.
No,
yeah.
Well, if you did dig, then you would dig the reversion. Duh. If you did dig,
Yeah.
you would have dug the reversion.
Dug the
That's what it is.
reversion. Yeah.
No, it literally dropped $40 from the point of mean revert. This is what Obi's talking about here, guys, on Root. So from
That is something. Volatility is volatility is what we thrive on. So
we actually have to
that's
go
a
to the
great
chart to be
example.
able to see it, though, Ramin. There we
Yes,
go.
there you
no,
go.
like
Wow, yeah.
all morning long, reverts the trend, tries to get back to the top, and then just from that point on, bye-bye. Take a bite out of Root. And you know what? You don't even have to have it up here. When it loses VWAP,
This guy's
right
chomping
there,
at the bit
loses
over here.
95, and you could just take a breakdown on Root all the way down to $70. When something does this, you want to look to see, and look at the volume. Like the volume also would come out of it almost a perfect time. It tried one last shot. It might have stopped you out. You had a chance to get back in off the same level. But Root, that was a mean
So you
revert.
want to sell here. So you want to sell here, and you want to buy there. You know, sometimes you just got to buy low and sell high.
Is that what it is?
But guys.
I mean-
that's not my style.
Dude,
I've lived for centuries. I just buy in perpetuity.
right.
Yes.
You collect those dividends.
Come on.
You
Well,
just
when
collect those-
you live forever, I mean, it's a
Oh,
different story.
man, what are we
You
even?
should never
I
sell.
mean-
Yeah.
Should never sell.
Fact is, if you do live forever, you should probably short like 80 to 90% of companies because don't most of them fail?
Most of them do fail. Give me a company that you don't. Is there anything that you're thinking about you don't like right now? I mean, I know are you pro Bitcoin? You like?
Yeah, of course.
You like?
Bitcoin,
where-
yeah.
you like
I
where we're
would
going?
not. I mean, maybe short-term shorts, but I don't know.
Okay.
You're not
got
buying
it.
the dip at 70,000? It bounced off 70.
I don't
Clean.
know.
He doesn't.
11 was a great price. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think if we get a retracement back down to 11, we'd be
Yeah,
okay.
let's just all go back in time and then we can be retired.
Everybody is in for a treat because tomorrow Obi will be filling in
Yes, I
for
will
yours truly,
be
and
here.
Obi
No
is going
costume.
to be crushing tomorrow. He may.
Are we doing costumes tomorrow?
Are we doing costumes today? I mean, I think you look
We're
great
doing,
in
we're doing
that.
costumes
Tomorrow,
today, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Today is Halloween, right?
Yeah,
so-
we're in costumes today. Yeah.
There might be some candy on the desk tomorrow. I can promise you that.
Okay.
There'll definitely be some candy.
I
on
got to
it.
watch out for that. I mean, if
No,
there's
there's always
something I love
extra.
to dig my teeth into, it's that,
Yeah. Do you have any favorites?
for chocolate.
Well, in general.
Well, but for just Halloween, like
Yeah.
maybe like
I mean,
bobbing for
like
apples.
a Kit Kat is dope.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Kit Kat's a great staple.
It's like whatever my daughter gets the most of that she allows me to be able to take. But there's usually Kit Kat is one of, here in Canada, like the go-to packs that most people get. It's like Kit Kat, Coffee Crisp, Arrow, and then something else. So like everybody, it's Smartie and then Smartie. So those are the four.
That's the pack usually.
So we get a boatload of those ones. You guys, are there Smarties in the States? They don't?
M&M's.
Okay, so
they're like Smarties are like a M&M's from Wish, maybe.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. Yes.
I mean, there's the Reese's Pieces where you get the peanut butter involved.
Yeah, those are nice.
Anything
Those are
peanut butter,
nice.
like that's my jam right there.
Like the peanut butter. I mean, for me, I just prefer hot dogs, but.
That's fair.
All right,
guys.
Obi. Well, let us know.
Have a good closing session.
Right. Let's stay away from that garlic and whatnot, and we will see you guys.
Avoid the
It's a good thing today is cloudy.
Today is cloudy outside. Yeah, thank God it is. Yeah, or else you probably wouldn't be here. So thankfully you are here. And we're actually looking. We looked at it might start to rain around 7 o'clock. So that's actually pretty good because the kids can get out there, and then I'll get them right back in there. You know what I'm saying? And then we can watch some Thursday night football, and we watch some.
Watching that game.
I'll be watching it. Whatever. I watch all the football games pretty much, and then on the background, I'll have to fight for TV because the Maple Leafs also play. So
I was gonna say, I'm like
there tonight.
the Leafs
but
play,
she'll be
and
out.
it's a
So
crappy football game.
no, it's not that crap because the thing is, I have interest in the Jets, man. I want to see what Aaron Rodgers has to say.
You must have somebody in fantasy if you're watching.
No, I do have the Jets D.
Oh, there you go. Then that's
But I don't know if that's going to be any good, man. I don't know. CJ Stroud, we'll see. I'm excited anyway.
Well, I had in one of my leagues Stephon Diggs, so you can tell why I'm not interested in tonight's game.
Get some questions in there for Raider Trader if anybody has anything to ask this guy here.
20,000 bounce, by the way. So just very quickly, the reason I said mean reversion actually wasn't root. I know that did happen, but we didn't actually have that. Tesla just got back above 250 and did its downtrend since VWAP revert. So first it tried to hold 250 outright. This time it actually reversed trend, closed back above, went 250. It can't even go the $0.50 though. But once it prints the $0.50, stop goes from underneath prior bar, which is 249.67, to 250. So if we break the $0.50, I move the stop from here up back into the 250 level on Tesla. As the market's bouncing off 20,000, right? So that 20,000 level, if you liked it as the Alamo, I'm sure Apple's probably at least doing something. And I'm going to take Roblox chart off. Market goes down, Roblox doesn't dip. Market goes up, Roblox doesn't rip. So Tesla only new positioning here off 250.
I got to say, shout out to Sebastian there. You're right. I was looking in the chat there. I was relaxing. I was looking for some more opportunities. And he's like, how come Sean hasn't talked about Uber? Uber just ripped right there. So we just take a really nice position on Uber down there at 70, now in the money. Oh, Neil, it's another dollar club right there for Uber. So we just reload Uber down there twice. That's how nice the twice for Uber came in there. But the thing about SMCI, that's starting to make a move back up. So we do get out of some more SMCI. We're completely fine with that. We are now out of, we had a third left. We got to have a little bit more. We have about 20% left of SMCI. Now, the thing about all of this is this, very, very simple. Can Apple beat? Yes, obviously it can. We'll have to wait to see what happens. I think Apple, people are more scared than anything else that they missed the number. I don't know. We were at the mall the other day, just a channel check. Like every store, I think it was 8 o'clock at night. Mall closes at 9. The only store that had anybody in it was the Apple store. But that's late at night, so I don't really know what were they buying. Who knows? There's new iPads. We're gonna wait to hear about that 16 number, right? And if they guide or they give any sort of an issue there. But the thing is, too, the wearables, right? We were actually last night talking about some of the wearables, and it was just like all the things that are involved there. Do they have that revenue still recurring? Let's see if that's true. That's an 85% margin on their services. So if we can keep that going, great. We had Apple supplier Qorvo yesterday miss as well. So that's not great. We'll wait to see if there's any sort of pushback on that. Huawei, we know Apple's fallen down a little bit there in China. Or has it? We'll wait to see for those numbers. Apple today holding up better than the market, though. Only down 1.3%. NASDAQ down 2%. So maybe Apple will be fine. The problem for me is right now you're at the 50 period already. But as opposed to other names like Meta that were at highs before they reported. At least Apple does have a chance to get back up there again to 235, 236. We're not starting at this high watermark. We're actually starting back in. So we've pulled back, but Apple, Neil, has been sideways since August. We were here August. This is July.
Yeah, that's July.
This is July 5th. We were at 225. So if you've sat in this name, July the 7th month, we are now entering the 11th month. You've been 4 months here sitting in nothing, not a huge dividend or anything like that, waiting for basically this moment, right? We've all been waiting for AI to come into play for Apple. We'll see what they talk about there. But Apple, do not be surprised if we get a little bit of a whoosh down here on AAPL because it's stuck in a range. If it does not outperform what's expected, Apple's going down. Was Meta that bad of a quarter? Was Microsoft that bad of a quarter? Both of those names getting hit down 5%.
Well, Meta was a great quarter.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And then down 5%. You know, Meta getting hit because they spend too much. So what, is Apple going to get hit because they spend too much on iOS 18? Well, I don't know. We'll wait to see what's happening right here. But yeah, I think that's right, Rivian Millionaire. I think you want to sell some Apple before if you're overweight. Like you've been sitting here for a while. You don't want to get burned. You've been sitting here since July, like we just said. There's July 5th. This number, right where we're at right now. This is July 5th.
Yeah, unless
right
you got the August dip.
So it's like, do you want to just say like, oh man, I could give everything back? Like, I don't know. And I'm not sure about that dip, right? That was that August 5th dip. Like,
man, that day, I'm still sick to my stomach over the lack of strategy on that day. Because everything was so far down. It's like, okay, well, if anything bounces, we're going to fly. And the strategy on that day should have been pick 3 or 4 names if you bounce back up to try to go long. Instead, I was like, oh, I'll just try to get Apple through 200. And when I didn't get a fill, it's not that my stop didn't go. I just didn't get filled. I crossed it, I think, like 32 or something like that. It's like 232 cents. No fill. And it was just instantly up to $3. And then by the time you missed and didn't get Apple, you went over to like Meta or Microsoft. That Meta was already up like $6 and Microsoft was up $6. So like if anything like that ever happened again, I think you want to have like multiple stop orders to try and grab that long. Because it was a once in a blue moon opportunity where people are talking about limit down on a day. And then all of a sudden your ramp job to the upside. Rivian Millionaire says 175 Apple and 175 Tesla was money. I mean, yeah, but are we getting 175 again? I think we should temper.
That would happen to be hindsight, would it? You know, it's like Obi is like,
here. I mean,
Bitcoin 11,000 was fantastic, but
11.
I mean, I do think that you are on.
You could have said 50 at least.
Well, I mean, I think maybe he must be long at 11. I don't know why that is. All right, here we're gonna do this. We have a question. Anytime we have a question for Mr. Andrew Rader, who is in the building, he is a pirate today, and he is stealing from the rich and giving to us all today with lots of information and lots of great Q&A. So here's another one I just put in the chat right now. This is from Kevin Gonzalez. He asks Bears versus Bulls and Andrew Rader, how do you get out of a slump? So Andrew, I know you've just sort of been trading now for a few years, but how do you get out of a slump? Any techniques?
Even though I've been, my ship has holes in it, everything else, I've found a way to keep sailing, boys. But no, as far as how you get out of slumps, so everyone has gone through slumps in their life. In fact, my first account was funded by Pokemon cards, and I blew that up down to like $1,000 when I was 16, when I was learning under my mentors. And I've been able to actually climb that. I've actually never blown my account up since then. But how do you get out of that? What is the mentality? Majority of the time, fear, emotions, what are they sourced from in the markets? It's normally forced from a lack of confidence, but also a kind of guilt in yourself that you know you're not supposed to be doing this, but you're still going to do it for the heck of it. And so what I tell people is this. Number one, downsize when you're starting to go on a losing streak. You cannot afford to keep making mistakes and keep making more emotional ones and keep seeing that negative feedback. Number two, what I recommend to you guys is really understand, do I have an edge in the trade that I'm taking? Is the trade I'm taking just an earnings trade? Is it something that I'm following Sean and Neil on? Because these guys are thinking about stuff that you aren't, and if so, I should probably learn what they're doing so that I can feel I have an edge as well. But overall, a lot of people, they feel that guilt, they feel that kind of emotional stress. How do I manage my emotions? Emotions come from a lack of understanding and a lack of, whenever you get lost, you get stressed, right? Whenever you know where you're going, you're not stressed. So that's kind of the idea behind it.
Perfect.
Couldn't say it any better.
Love that.
There was a saying I remember. It's like, you know what? You shouldn't worry about things that you can't control because they're out of your control, so there's no need worrying about them. And then don't worry about the things that you can control because you are in control. And basically, it's like you shouldn't be overly worried, because if you find yourself in that spot, hey, then that is something you shouldn't be involved in because you don't have an edge, you don't have control over that situation, so you should be stepping back. And then when you have a trade plan or trade action that makes sense for you, then you're just essentially going through the motions. And having an execution plan, I think, makes a heck of a lot of sense. It's a great, that's a great look. The market is now, I'd say, sufficiently bouncing off of this 20,000 level. I want to point out, I'm only in Tesla, but I wanted to point out Nvidia, because Nvidia's bounce is actually very impressive here. Off of 132 is random, but this is just where we bounced off of that 20,000 mark. You're almost at VWAP now on all green on the 3-minute here for Nvidia. And then right here, Tesla, we just got through the 251, so I've now moved trail back into the break even. Just a trend reversal trade. If it goes back in underneath the 50 level, I want to jump out. I'm looking for 252, not necessarily a random level there on Tesla. So Fabian's hard at work behind us, so things are dropping all over the place. He's dropped a wrench a couple of times there. Usually it really is Randy and Rob that usually do that. But
I'm not sure this is going to end well. But.
Yeah, well, hopefully everything ends okay there. So anyways, 252 was just prior support when this was bouncing off of VWAP. So that's the target here, 252. So on the 15-minute, you can sort of clearly see when on the way down, you had a support level and then a little bit of a resistance. I want to be out in front of 252 on Tesla and then move on to the next here. So a little bounce play, a mean reversion on Tesla, along with that 20,000 bounce in the market.
It's like, you got to be careful standing on top of that ladder, my guy. That's all. So
it's making me a little
be careful.
I'm nervous for him.
Be careful up there. No, I'm not. I mean, I know you're well capable of doing it, but it's I don't know. I think there's probably a warning that says do not stand on the top of that, but it's all good. Right now, shout out to all of our workforce or workplace. Oh, there he goes. He's off. Okay, good. Workplace safety does maybe you don't have a. We're not unionized. Okay, another question is right here. All right. Yes, it is. And we have another question for you, Mr. Raider Trader. It's right here. Maud Ali says, how can we control our risk? So I'll word that a little differently. I think we can get to the same conclusion here, Andrew. You know, Neil and I, before we enter a trade, we have stop orders. We have outs that we're looking at. I know it's a little bit different in the options game. I'm not sure what this individual is looking for. But how would you answer that question? How do you control your risk? We can talk about different trades if you'd like, but that question's over to you there, Andrew.
For someone who swing trades as well, but I would say the main difference, I'm sure Sean, Neil, and myself all have similar risk positions. Obviously, you don't want to size too big. Obviously, you want to have a general idea of what your trade looks like when it's wrong. Now, where options and equity really does differ is this right here. Options, because there's theta decay, you can lose value by a stock not moving, but that does not mean you're not correct. So for example, when I'm swing trading, a stock goes sideways and I'm planning a breakout, well, that doesn't mean I'm incorrect even though I'm down 60%. So a lot of the times in my swing positions, not day trades, but in my swing positions, I will not set a stop loss based off percent or dollar amount. It will be a location-based stop loss to say, is the trade invalid below here? Likely, because if we make a new low, the breakout's very unlikely. That's how I really approach it when it comes to swing trading, because again, with theta decay, it's not necessarily that I'm going to be wrong, but it's just, do I have enough time and is the idea still valid? My biggest trades, gold this year, back in February, was to the all-time high. I actually started down 60% on, and that ended up being my biggest trade of the year. So there you go.
It's important to have that conviction, exactly, right, and the belief in that trade. One more before we go, because we're going to just keep on doing this. We're very, very happy to have Raider here. This is from Youssef here, and he just said, and it's a follow-up on what you had said before about Amazon. So Youssef here asking and mentioning here that you had said earnings, and here's the question right here. He asked if offloading Amazon before earnings is a smart idea, and you had mentioned there, Andrew, earnings are never an edge. What did you mean by that?
The only way that I would ever trade earnings as far as something that I would hold through is, number one, each month I kind of allocate a certain amount of my trading account to what I call YOLOs, or speculation plays. So for example, earnings. This might be 10% of what you allocate to your account each month. Earnings can boost your account, but they can also very as well hurt them. Of course, there are some earnings that really do, earning seasons, there are some crazy trends, and it's easy, right? But there are other earning seasons where it's very difficult. What I like to say to people is this: if you end up in a trade, you see edge. For example, I trade a lot of option flow, I trade a lot of rotations. Since we're popping into some earnings into tomorrow, well, we have to understand there's also Apple earnings. So you kind of have to understand, okay, if I'm going to swing this stock, is it going to be affected by Apple's earnings? Okay, let's say no. Then I would be able to hold it through Apple earnings. But if you're holding Apple and you're saying, I want to swing trade this into tomorrow, you have to understand that it's a direct one-to-one, it's going to be affected by the earnings. So that's something that you're going to have to say, hey, am I up? It's probably worth de-risking, trying to make it free, something like that before I exit.
There you go, and a great answer there, Andrew. And keep them coming in there. We'll keep all the questions. He's here all day and of tomorrow as well. Just we're gonna have Raider here tomorrow, along with myself and Obi. The Cantina Man will get a day off to eat all the candy that I'm sure the kids come back with on this night.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
You gotta get some.
I'll pick out like the caramel. I like the caramels, I think. But the thing is, you can't get too there's so much. There's Rob right there.
Yes, you can.
Rob, I want to ask you, do you want to come on for a second? I want to ask you a safety, workplace safety question. Thank you.
He's our safety.
This is Rob, by the way. He works in IT here, and he does a fantastic job. So I was maybe a little bit closer there. Fabian was standing on top of the ladder. Mm-hmm. Is that a safe thing to do, to be standing on that blue, like right on top of there? I thought that was a little risky.
If you go by the manufacturer's warning, that's a no-no.
Right, okay, good, thank you. Because I was saying that to Neil. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a sticker right on there that says do not do that.
It's frowned upon.
Okay. Rob Sprack, I won't say your last name. Rob, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming
Man, the
through.
myth, the legend.
Right there, yeah, Rob. You might see him often walking around here helping us out and pretty much building... again, Brendan's computer, I think, died. I think that was one of the problems. So right now, got cannibalized. So it's somewhere else. So it's being, I guess, repurposed. Oh. And part of the problem is because something else blew up before, and that was our dashboard. But now we are very happy to announce the dashboard is now back. Thanks to Brendan for sacrificing his computer. So that was good. So Brendan's been walking around here like, with like a, what do they call it? Chicken with his head cut off, thinking about something to do, as his computer is missing. But we found it, and it is over there. And yes, okay, good. Now we are sitting on,
So we're talking about risk rules. They're taking away they're adding.
We're adding more TVs here. Okay.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
That's going to be a nice look from the back there.
Okay, I like that.
Right.
And maybe you can see it from the green screen. Yeah, when you're in the green screen, to be able to actually see yourself, which is a big help. We used to use the green screen more ourselves. We used to like a trade of the day thing.
Dashboard.
And it was very important to be able to look at what you were, you're pointing at a chart. It's like, what the heck am I doing? As we were talking about risk rules, if I get in because of a trend reverse, then I get out because of a trend reverse. And we'll see what Tesla does here. But just quickly to the chart. There you go. So
chart on.
This trend reverse, close in, makes a trend when it breaks a 21. It goes back underneath, breaks the trend underneath that. I just jump out of it. So reason to get in when it broke trend, but it's a downward sloping stock. So as far as I'm concerned, if it loses that trend, I'm going to jump out of it. Scalp trade in there. We just entered at that 50, and every quarter we took it out. Let's go up to the desk with Adara.
Do this.
So this part of the show is brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience has taken a bold step in advancing brain health technology. In collaboration with Bright Minds Biosciences, Firefly's innovative AI-powered platform has successfully analyzed data from a groundbreaking phase 1 clinical trial using advanced EEG technology to track brain activity. This data unlocks new potential in treating neurological and mental disorders, reinforcing Firefly's position at the forefront of brain health innovation. As they prepare for phase 2, this partnership signals exciting developments for the future of neuropsychiatric treatments. Firefly Neuroscience, shaping the future of brain health.
We're just talking about, and we were gonna ask her. Yeah, we can just for everybody to know, has Adara officially announced which character or
No.
what? Go ahead, Adara.
I'm a Bratz doll. I don't know. I'm not any of them in particular. There's like Chloe, Jade, Yasmin, the other one,
Ooh.
Sasha. No, I'm just a Bratz doll.
A Bratz doll. Okay, there we go.
My daughter's going to love the fact that you did that. By the
I
way.
know. I mean, that's the thing. And she also she was showing me earlier that these dolls, they change feet or they change.
Lines.
She drew the foot lines as
The
well.
detachable
She went all in, so we like that. We appreciate that. Shout out to Adara there on the bridge doing her best impersonation of a Bratz doll. And I think that looks absolutely fantastic. She had these high heels on that were like 4 inches taller. I mean, I was like, what?
They were in. They were.
I was like, I please hope that you. And she did bring some shoes for running around a little bit more. So shout out to that. Okay, yeah, and so we still do have, of course, Andrew Rader. Keep those questions coming.
There's another one.
And we just go. Okay, Neil, you want to go with that one? Sure.
We got another one in here. Andrew from JVA. Andrew, do you trade leverage ETF options or only equities or stocks? So that is the question there, Andrew from Jay.
The answer is yes. So when the VIX is elevated, like it is today, or over, let's just say in general, let's say the VIX is over 26 or it's 32, somewhere around there, it's actually better if you're looking to swing trade indices to actually long leverage ETF options. Why? Because there's less theta decay. Sure, you'll make less, but the theta decay risk is so much less because if it doesn't move, you're not going to lose a crazy amount of premium like you would in a crazy VIX market like that. So I do specifically use them more exclusively during times of elevated VIX. So there you go. Less theta decay.
There you go.
Boom.
Easy, simple answer. We
I mean,
love
this is
it.
the thing. Yeah, we throw anything at this guy all
He's
the
got
time.
it. He's got it.
And make sure you go find him at Raider Trader, both on X and on Instagram. We want to thank Andrew Raider for coming through. Grab that Raider report. Oh, there it is. At the bottom right there.
At the bottom.
He's got a report, the Raider report as well. So you can go find him. Raider Trader 101 right there. Go to school with that one. 101 right there on X and Instagram. Thank you, Andrew, coming here all the way from Ohio. So we want to thank him for that. And we were just talking, it was funny that there was no direct
flights
into Toronto.
Figure it out.
We had
Cincinnati Airport.
Yeah, that is a little bit
whatever it's called.
a little bit strange. Well, he said we determined also that the largest airport in Ohio was actually.
Oh, it was John Glenn Airport, named after the astronaut. I think he was an astronaut.
Which was in Columbus.
I think he was the. Was he like the third guy on the Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong? I think John Glenn. Either he was the first one in space or he was like.
Definitely not first. Was he first? I mean,
well, American. Well, he was part of the first crew to go to the moon. He was the third guy because it was Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and he would have been the third guy. The first person in space was a Russian, Yuri Gagarin, although they sent a monkey first.
I mean, has anybody really been
that's it.
to the moon? I mean, let's just be perfectly
Andrew, say that again. I think you have
I think
that
he
right.
was the first one who did the first manned orbit around the Earth. I think that was it.
There you go. Either way, a legend.
Yeah.
But the airport still had no direct flights to Toronto. It's not like Toronto is a big, location to fly to or anything.
Glenn Smith is confirming that. John Glenn, first man to
There
orbit
the Earth.
Earth. Right there. All right.
I'd love to go to space, but we got to make it cheaper. Virgin Galactic, figure it out. Nvidia's at VWAP, by the way.
Ooh.
So it's retesting VWAP for the second time
Uber.
in here. Whether or not I want to fade it off, I don't know if this is going to be the fade. Wow, that is strong. It's looking awfully strong. Is there a chip name that's not strong? AMD's literally not moving. Just double checking what Micron looks like. Micron's at exactly $100 and at VWAP. This might be a nice little play in here. Proven a resistance at the 100. I might go over under here. The top is 110 cents. So if it can fail that high, get back underneath VWAP, I might look for that for a short. Chemical reaction, man, not with that leg, Neil. Hey, my Achilles is going to be healed by the time Virgin Galactic has any real flights, which will be years from now. No, I probably won't end up doing it.
What does it matter even if you have legs or not? You can go to space. I mean, you're literally just sitting there. You don't have to. You're not trying to walk.
Oh, I mean, hates the idea.
Huh?
She hates that idea. She's like, why would you ever? My wife.
Oh.
She's like, why would anyone ever do that?
Wow.
Let me see the curvature of the Earth.
Whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah, see the curvature of the Earth. I would love to see like the
I mean, some people
Aurora
only live
Borealis.
once, so you got to figure that out.
Like what's on, everyone has to have like their own, like what's a bucket list item for you? Like if you could get the chance to do it that you wanted, and I want to see the curvature of the earth from space, like that would be super cool.
Yeah.
And that'd be worth it for me. Not until
I don't think it's overly even risky at this point, is it? I mean, they've done a bunch of those back.
Yeah, but they had to
and forth,
halt
and
their
they've never-
flight. I mean, they got other issues.
I mean, yeah, some people get stuck in space and what.
SpaceX will be doing some. I'm sure at some point they'll be doing their own tourist thing, and there'll be lots of options by the time I'm an old man. So,
I believe that to be true.
Micron under VWAP. Let's see if it can do it. Airy Pages, curvature of the Earth. Use some kind of. I'm not a flat earther. No, I'm the literal opposite of it. I think it's the most amazing thing in the world. The perspective. Like everyone that's ever seen that perspective has said that it's life-changing, right? Any astronaut that comes back says it's life-changing to see the Earth from space. So I would love to be able to do it myself. That's all.
Yeah, I think that's cool. SPCE here. Let's have a quick check on what's going on with the Virgin
Down
Galactic.
78 million
That's actually not that bad. 78 million percent. No, not quite that much. Down 3% right now. SPCE actually had its day. Not in the sun. This is the reverse split all the way up there to get back over $1, and we all know what happens when we talk reverse split with some of these names, as that has now made its way back in. Watch out for the. Kind of glad we're talking about this a little bit right here, because this 550 break right there on Virgin Galactic would be really nice. This could be one of those write down on your iPad type trades, because this is the reverse split. So every time you lose that, we always think about going back down. Yeah, exactly. That is a flat. You can hit it. Yeah, it's a flat bottom break right there. So, okay.
Maybe not as good as Rivian's flat bottom break, which is probably going to happen this or next week. So anyways, Micron, 100, VWAP, we went over that one. I got 96 to the short side. I guess there's no one that wears the number 96 for make some kind of a pun. No, Rivian's got the big one coming up. It's at $10 now. Okay, 10.19, give or take. This bounced off 10.01 today. Until it finally breaks, Rivian's going to give it to you. That $10 level on Rivian has been absolute gold. I want to see how far I can go back on the 15. There you go. Now you can see, like, that's that second time. It's the second time it's gone into $10 pretty much precisely and bounced off of 01. Wow, that's, it's the interesting thing about waiting for a stock to break down so you can short it is you could also just go long off that level too. You could be long at 10.01 twice now on Rivian. The first time you got like a clean 35-cent move. Today you get about 25 cents, but you're risking, if it's up to you, you can risk 2 cents on that trade and be long at 01s with an out at 99. That's reasonable on something like a Rivian.
I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that.
Yeah, but you have to be looking at it.
Randy likes Rivian.
I wasn't looking at that.
He likes Rivian here.
He loves Rivian.
Yeah, so good call there.
I don't know why.
We can talk to him about it next time he's around. Okay, so just real quick here. We started the show off and we said we were $1.10 in the money on our two positions. Well, SMCI right now is 70 cents in the money and trying to get to its bottom again. I think we should probably get some out. Plus $1.21 now in Uber. So we started the show here at 2 o'clock. We were $1.10 in the money. Right now we are $1.85 in the money. So we've been rocking with some of these trades here so far. Since we've been on the air, we are now over 90 cents in on the positions and counting. And this SMCI trade, we actually, the full boat is right here. This was taken at 2 o'clock, right when we broke through some of these levels. That level actually didn't break until 2:15 right there on SMCI. So we are obviously still going to be in that one. And then the Uber trade, although we're getting light on it, we got scared there a little bit when we had that news about the Iran possible. We're just telling you what the news story was. Possible attack imminent there, I'm guessing, against Israel. And Dara's brought that story to us numerous times there. So we'll wait to see if there's any sort of reaction in oil markets, because there was. And oil shot up about 1.5%, I believe, from 71.80 up to 73 right there. USO oil was already up, but it looks like right here, although we are closed right now, USO still traded as an ETF in the energy market. So up to $73 goes USO. And I'm just really surprised that oil is actually like not all the way up here. I mean, we do not have a very settling environment. Plus we have election coming up.
You can't have oil prices spiking too high before the election.
Right. Well, no, that will affect the election results. But we'll just wait to see. You know what? Not even that many people that vote, I don't even think would care too much about that oil price, but you are right. Well, we'll wait to see what happens now.
It's just like how you're not going to get any really bad labor data right before the election. Even if it ends up magically showing some weakness in the couple of weeks after it, we'll see.
So the stock market.
Wait for the
rigged
revisions
and
after the
politics.
election, everybody.
Yeah.
On some of that labor. Look, I'd be a little. If you look at some of the consumer names and how they've sort of behaved, I think you might see a little bit of labor weakness after the election. But that's next week. We do not have a lot of time to worry about that. Next week is going to come really, really quickly, and that election is going to be wild. I think the aftermarket is going to be wild if you end up trading it on Blue Ocean or trading the futures or something. I think it's going to be an awesome opportunity out there. It'll be a late day on Tuesday for a lot of people staying up to see how it goes, and then we'll see how the reaction is the next day. Whether it's opportunities and maybe cannabis names, maybe energy, maybe there'll be something with this thing called DJT that you might have heard of. That could be out there as well. I'm checking back in on Tesla for a test of that 250 again. Not really giving you much of anything. So it failed came back about 250, kind of failed to 251. Now it's just slowly trending back in. Not much. It would be great if it could hold the higher low. Let's zoom out because it's been downward trending the whole day. And that was a missed opportunity. And VWAP didn't quite get to VWAP, but it got close. But if it can put in a higher low, then you can get this late action. It's already 327 though, so it's kind of running out of time to confirm some kind of a higher low to go up. That's why I went to a VWAP trade. Something at VWAP where I can have a tight entry of risk at this point. So, like with Micron, I'm risking about 15 pennies in here for it to retrace back in at the end of the day. It's at a $100 level as well. Hey, what's up with my daily? All right, let's go to a 15. Micron been trending down the last couple of sessions here, so just playing off that 100 level on Micron. I wanted to show a daily chart of Micron, but I guess I lost that one, so I'll just pull it up on Trade Ideas for everybody. The other thing with Micron, just for a little extra confluence with this underneath this $100 level,
getting pretty low here.
underneath that 200 period, it is worth mentioning that this is right here at the 50 SMA on the daily. So it's a big level for Micron, kind of like a put up or shut up level. Are you bouncing off of it or are you bouncing away from it here for MU? It's Intel that you have reporting tonight, but
Yep.
yeah, the entire chip space is moving like wildfire. And I looked at what was at VWAP and just figured, okay, if I want to revert something, I went to Micron and not Nvidia, but Nvidia could have also been the play. Nvidia just felt stronger, that's all.
Guys, now $2.10 in the money. We just talked about some of this damage that we've been putting on the market. And look what just happened right there. Oh my God, did Uber just go all the way to VWAP? We're at $1.50 now in the money on Uber as we'll hail one ride back over here. I'm not going to get out. We'll just see what happens there into the close. Again, like the stock, stay with it. And if you're looking for trade ideas, they will not be happening from me tomorrow. It'll be Neil and Obi will be here. But, I post every single day here. Hey, there's a little, hey, that was funny. I was going to show that hot dog guy there for a minute. Right here, it is your sticky note today. There we go. We had a little Frankenstein chasing us right there. But we had Uber as a long written down. So there's Uber right there. We talked about wait for 70. So that's what we did. Started at 71. Get it at 70. Now you're at 71, 70. So that's going to be a good trade. The Google trade there. We could talk about Robinhood in a minute. Peloton, we had that. Look, 760 long. We have a 760 in our account today. We'll review that in a minute. And then the number one trade today, P&L wise, although now Uber takes it over. Uber, number one P&L, AMD, number two P&L. For me today. Go check out the sticky note. This is what's happening after hours. There was a question in the chat. Actually, let's do it right now. We'll talk about the report afterwards. All right, Mr. Trader of Raiders, and he is Pirate Raider today. There's a question in the chat here. Are there any interesting levels, maybe, Andrew, that you're seeing with, oops, I can't show you this on Nvidia, but it's going to be Nvidia. Nvidia's making a nice move back in now. We've seen it top out there at 145, Andrew. Now you're coming back into 132. This looks to be a decent area of support. Anything you're thinking about here with Nvidia reporting in, I think, 2 weeks?
Look, the kind of macro analysis I've been rolling with for the last few weeks is, of course, that October seasonal bottom. And we've talked about it a few times that, what are the names that are going to do well out of this October bottom? What are the names that are going to benefit into the end of the year? And a lot of people have been looking to semiconductors. A lot of people have been looking at mega caps, things like that. And I always talk about when you pick a sector, it's important which name you pick because not everything in that sector is going to do well. You are going to get what we call leaders and laggards. This is a term I mention all the time. And what you look at when you look at things like Nvidia, look at the response off of the low. compare Nvidia from this low around 132.33 all the way up to here. And then you go, okay, let me go look at SMCI. SMCI being another one. Look at the move off of this. Do you see how these are kind of different in structure, things like that? That's what I'm going to go through, and I'm going to compare things like AVGO, right? I'm going to go compare who is having the bigger bounce off the low, who is being structurally stronger, not necessarily percentage-wise, but who is also the one that has the better structure to the upside. And right now, when you look at something like Nvidia, it is recovering much better, more aggressively off the lows into the close here. And so that's a sign to me that if I were to swing trade this, if I were to trade this long, if I were to even day trade this, this is going to be the bigger move within semis to the upside, and I would want to stay within that one. So I do retain a bullish thesis in Nvidia to the end of the year. The timing of that is going to be argued. It's, of course, going to be dependent on week to week, but that's the general idea.
All right.
There you have it from
a triple bottom
Mr.
132. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a triple bottom. Amazon's trying to. I mean, Amazon reports the first one after the bell that just tried to get through view up as well. Like it just turned at 187, and yeah, I guess you call that a right turn because you're going this direction. That's a right turn to the downside for Amazon, and like you said, you're having some stronger holds of this little bounce in other places like Nvidia. But yeah, Amazon, I feel like there's going to be some trouble, and it has nothing to do with how the quarter's going to be because how are you going to hate if you're hating on Meta spending? It's not as if Amazon's CapEx spending is going to be slowing down either. They're all going to be spending big, and if you're punishing one, you're probably punishing them all. If they punish Microsoft and they punished Meta, it's going to be tricky for someone like an Amazon. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're going to find out in 27 minutes. Because I think Amazon comes right at the bell. So it's right away, right out of the box, you're going to get Amazon and Intel, and then we'll get some fireworks started, Apple a little bit later. So it's going to be a banger of an aftermarket show. Yeah. I'm sure Raider's going to join you as well. Obviously, it'll just be yourself, Raider, and Adara, because it's Thursday.
The three-pack.
We're not going to have Danielle back. We congratulate her.
That's right.
We congratulate her in addition to her family, but she is not going to be back. Hopefully, we'll have her soon. I just looked over, and I see you're checking out those odds, which haven't shifted much.
No, I mean, they were 62 yesterday. I mean, I think 5 points in a day. Like, I'm surprised, actually, now that this is where it is. I mean, I was just wondering, like, because they've moved there, like 5 points in a day, like, I don't know, 57. I was just checking it now for the first time. So if we can see what's been happening with DJT in the last 2 days, I don't know if this is going to be a poll related thing or not, but yeah, it's getting closer and closer for Kamala. And remember, the thing is like, you know, these are what polls are. And we've talked about trying to trade this name. I think DJT now, considering what we're looking at and what we're at, probably the day after, like the Wednesday, regardless of what the results of the election are. I mean, this has to be on every single person's radar, trader's radar, for next Wednesday. So there you go. I think DJT, again, a really, really nice name to look at. Down into the 50 period would be nice. Down into something else around that 24, 25 area could be held. 50 period right now is at $23 for that name. So, all right, we're ready to go over to the screen with Adara.
What we're going to do here is take a look at some of these larger movers to the upside and the downside in the S&P 500, as we always do here about half an hour into Power Hour. I like to have a theme for this segment. This morning during the midday, we looked at some of the tech names that were actually to the upside on earnings. Now we're going to look at some negative earnings names, and it's worth noting none of these reports are inherently quote-unquote bad or obvious misses. So we're going to start here with eBay. EBAY is near lows of day here, down about 9%. Initially looked strong, but sold off at the open and kept pushing lower. Beat on sales, beat on EPS. Their guidance was a bit mixed, but still nothing really that would necessarily precipitate that 10% drop. Now we have Monolithic Power Systems, which is down about 18%. Guidance here on the lower end missing estimates for their Q4 revenue guidance. Getting a downgrade here from Rosenblatt, but they did beat on EPS and sales. Last but not least, we have Regeneron, REGN. This one, SSR here, down more than 10%, beating on EPS and sales like the other two names we saw here. Their guidance here, they're not seeing any increase in their guidance, so flat guidance could potentially be an issue here for REGN. Nonetheless, to the downside, and it's interesting to note these names really do show there's no such thing as good or bad earnings. It's how the market reacts to them, and in these cases, market sold off on all three, guys.
Market sold off on Coinbase too.
Ooh, yeah. There's been a couple crazy reports today.
No, I just saw in the chat, someone's like, man, coin is getting decimated today. I like
Is
that.
it getting decimated? How much is it down?
14%.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, that's decimated, and it's at the 50. This is going to be a continuation. I think a continuation play. So this is actually my. Well, I have Google and Alphabet and Coinbase. Google, same thing. Those are the two red ones, unfortunately for myself, because I did try a bounce play on Coinbase, like right in here. It's like $10 ago. I actually tried a bounce play back through 191, and you can see. Look at this. It just continued this downward trend after that. And 180 is a level on the daily chart, but maybe tomorrow on an SSR continuation play might look for some kind of a mean reversion. I might have missed it. Obi was actually trying to get my attention that Roblox was trying to mean revert. The weird thing is I was wanting this afternoon Roblox at VWAP. We didn't get it. But Roblox trying to pull back in here. I know there's bad earnings today and a lot of negative stocks that you could look at, but let's keep in mind, Roblox up 20%, Carvana up a bajillion %. I haven't checked, so I'm not really sure. Well, I don't know. I have no idea what the number is because I haven't looked at it in a couple minutes. And then there's also, it was Peloton as well. So there were a bunch of, as many of the double digits names to the downside, there were lots of double digit to the upside names as well. Like Carvana, I don't know, let's see where it is now. Of course I say that, and Carvana is now dumping into VWAP as we speak, like down $9 from the high. 20% though, still up. Carvana touched $260. Why? Because it's clearly the greatest company in the world and everything they do makes sense, and in no way is this going to unwind in an ugly way for people. What's the worst that could happen, Carvana shareholders? No one ever went broke taking profit. That was my personal advice. No, I'm just joking. I have no idea what's going to happen on Carvana, except for the fact that when it starts to unwind, it can be very, very fast. Fundamentally, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, Carvana's just been going straight up. So, I mean, if take that position now, fine. But, like, you know, before, like, all the shorts have been blown out. I mean, Carvana, I don't know what the exact all-time high is for that one, but
360 something.
Okay, so maybe that's eventually when it stops. We have Amazon coming after hours and Apple. We're not going to get, well, maybe we'll get 20% moves on those names. Wouldn't that be wild if Apple moved 20%? What you can do, though, is scan that QR code right there and make sure that you get the best charting platform available right now with eSignal. Very reliable, obviously, as Neil and I talk about this. You know, getting the most reliable stats, data, infinite data, instant trading, charts that will change the game, better back testing and scanning, reliable real-time data, everything you need all in one place. So easy to use, good support and everything. I've been using them for many, many years. I just like the fact that you can chart any market, all on the same platform. You can also hook up your broker to trade with them then as well. So I think it's worth the look there for eSignal, especially if you're looking for a little bit of an advanced charting platform, all completely entitlement based. So you don't want to have CME, you don't have to take it. It'll lower the price. You don't want to have NYSE entitlements. Take those out of there, which I do not suggest you do that. But that's what it's all about. It is eSignal. Thank you to eSignal for sponsoring the show. All right, just real quickly on all of the trades. So we had talked about, you know, $2 in the money, $1 in the money. Well, right now we are about at $2.10 on all positions. Uber did take VWAP. We said we would wait for it. So now let's put in our stop there at VWAP. This stop was actually breaking through 70. So 25 cents worth of a stop to give us $2 worth of risk. That's a 10-to-1 risk to reward ratio right there on equity, not on options. 10-to-1 right there. We had it. We talked about it. We had a $70 stop. So this position right here at $70.25 gives $70.25 gives us that quarter plus slippage, about 30 cents worth of room. So let's just put that out here if we break through VWAP. We were about to get out there anyways. We let it go back up there to the upside. If we're going to look at Uber today, which is going to be my number one P&L name, we've already seen some troubles in and around 72, but let's see if eventually we just want to hold that and get back there to the upside right now. So let's do that. Wait on Uber here into the close. We'll put a stop at resistance. Well, was resistance, now support there, VWAP. And then just quickly before we go back over, SMCI has made its way back up. Our second to last out was at the very bottom. We just talked about that before we went over to Adara. So this is getting really aggressive now, starting to go back up. We actually talked to Andrew about Nvidia making a move back there into the close as well. It looks like SMCI is following suit. So we'll take another piece out. We now only have Less than 10% left of SMCI. So we did have a third left. Now we have less than that. So less than 10% left on for SMCI. And Uber, very, very small piece as well. So that stop, let's put that in right now. 71.69er. We'll put that one in. Did we cancel our last one? Yes, we did. Oh, my Ford stop is still in there, believe it or not, but that did not trigger, obviously. So we're cleaning that all up. 3:41, only 8 minutes until the imbalances. Let us know.
Of which,
more questions.
Of which there's an early one on Boeing, notably. So Boeing has a 1.8 million early look sell. Kenvue is like, it's there all the time. It doesn't really matter. Enbridge, that's dual listed, so beware. Same thing with TD. Pfizer is a 1 million early look sell. I think the notable one there is probably going to be Boeing. But Hey Davis had a question in the chat that I actually have a good answer for you, because I still own some shares from a long time ago in Pepsi. And the question was, KO has pulled back. Will it be worth, when will it be worth buying, sir? I can only tell you what I'm looking at myself. I actually want to show you the weekly and the daily in this case. So on the daily, the 200 period is at 64. On the weekly, the 50 period is at 65. So I'm essentially looking for a bounce off of that, sell some Pepsi. Well, actually, that's sell all the Pepsi that I have, which I actually haven't done anything with it for years, and then go into Coke, which I think has been performing better in a general sense. I kind of like the space they're in. Kind of also like a half hedge that I have a bunch of Eli Lilly in there. This joke. No, but I like it back off these good stocks off the 200 period moving average on the daily, and then on the weekly chart, pulling back into that 50. So I want it bouncing off that. All it has to do is close with a bounce. That could happen next week. That could happen 2 weeks from now. I don't really know. You can't really tell. You got to see it get into those. But that's what I'm watching for those names. I showed you guys the early look there. Well, I'll keep an eye on. Wait a minute, was Boeing still there? Okay, so never mind. Boeing was 2 seconds ago. I'll answer one question. Boeing's 1.8 million early look sell is now gone. So Boeing does no longer has that sell imbalance. VWAP here on Micron, it can't seem to get past 80s. So I reloaded it at 99. I still had some from 96 and got some out at 85. It's just playing a very tight range in here in front of that $100 level on Micron. So still short off VWAP, still short off the 100. If we do get a flush or any kind of a big sell imbalance on the chip names, I'll look to take advantage of that. My stop is just above the $100 level here on Micron. So let us know what you guys are watching in here. I've seen that CVNA is still going. Yes, Carvana is still falling. Like, what a joke. Like, the second I try to talk about all the stocks that were up on earnings, and Carvana decides to now drop $7 since we bring it up. So the jinx is real. Let's go to Mr. Raider at the desk. Arr.
Okay, that's getting real old. No, I'm kidding. So as far as the markets right now, I just want to show you guys a couple of things. First of all, yeah, we mentioned that energy. That thing is like absolutely tanking. Sometimes when you see this, especially when you get news, it could be the market saying, well, we don't quite believe you. So that's just something to take in mind, so that if the strike actually does happen, if it sells off during the news or before it comes out, once it does actually come out, you'll see a much more inflated reaction from that. But one thing I also want to mention as well, the dollar weakness. This is going to be really key for tomorrow. And what I'm going to be watching are the commodities into tomorrow's close. The dollar weakness here, even with the market drop, is kind of extraordinary. And we're going to be watching this for potentially a commodity reversal. Again, my bet is silver. If this one does bottom tomorrow, I'm seeing some bets that it does into next week. Silver will be one on a gap up that I want to play the gap and go with. But silver is one there. And then my last trade for you guys, just to update on you, is Solars. I'm actually still playing the Solars bounce, 288 tomorrow. Nothing has changed about the trade. I'm going to swing this one into tomorrow.
Andrew, you got to zoom out that silver chart to show how good it looks.
All right, yeah.
No, I know. Swing it back. Can we just go right back for a quick second? I want to make sure everyone sees that silver chart, and when you zoom it out a little bit more.
So this right here, this is silver. Now, I've been talking about silver versus gold for a while now. Again, just to let you guys know, we do believe gold and silver will continue to go up, but my bet is more the risk reward is on silver. We've talked about this in the past, but I think out of all years that silver could actually go for a big high break, we haven't broken this since almost 2012, we haven't broken this $34, and we are just coming up to around 31. So that's going to be something I'm betting on this year into the end of the year is $34. Who knows if it'll happen, but that's my bet.
Yeah, look, you get from that 30. You get from that 30 break, which is ongoing. it's like clear, it's like a blue sky setup, for lack of a better term. That's what we talk about, no near resistance until you get to that 34 level. I don't know. I wanted everybody to see that for sure, because I think it looks so much. When in doubt, zoom out. Again, you want to be able to see where those targets can be and what it can do for you. So all we were able to do was scalp over and over again to 99.85, no follow through on Micron. So it'll end up being a flat trade because we were scalping some out, but then it breaks out the top. We only have 3 minutes to go until we get the imbalances for real. I showed you guys the early look, but when we get the actual numbers, we'll have a quick look-see to see if anything pops up the last couple of sessions. Yeah, see, Nvidia was stronger. It was the right one. I mean, it only gave you a couple scalp trades, but Nvidia is certainly stronger. Nvidia's been the one that's had these imbalances. Now, whether it does again today, 1.7, 2 million, those are chump numbers. You want to see 4, 5, 6 million for Nvidia. If I see that, I might look to do a bit of a breakout trade there. Hey, Davis, agree with you on silver. Actually played silver here for one day for the day trade when it was trending up after that 30 break. If it can do another breakout, we can trade SLV. That's one of the best things about real trading. I mean, some would argue that it is the best thing about real trading, is that everything is available to you. Now, whether you want to trade an ETF, great. You want to trade Forex, great. You want to trade crypto, great. You want to trade futures, great. Equities, obviously, you can short anything you want. You can trade penny stocks. It's all there for you. So I'm looking for that bounce off 30 finally on silver. Like, you have a little bit of a, break the bottom, find the low. Well, if it can just simply regain the 30 level, break it back out, you get like a nice little scalp trade. Maybe what we should have done on 70,000 on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin bounced pretty much exactly off 70,000. Now on IBIT, it's going to be a different number, but look at it here. It's about as clean as it gets. I'll go to the 3-minute chart because it looks even better on a 3. This bottoming tail candle was when you challenged the $70,000 level on Bitcoin. There's your bottoming tail. There's your scalp trade entry. You can get 39.90 into 40.20. At that point, you're trading a bunch of equities, not going to complain. When you have a green day, you shouldn't complain too much. But I think IBIT, anytime we test a major level, it's just so worth it on the reversal. If it doesn't break away, you just play that bounce play or the rejection of the all-time high, the bounce off 70,000. I think the next one's a retest of that all-time high, probably in the next week or two.
All right, good talk there. Gold, silver. I mean, we've seen gold just absolutely blow up over the last little while. Great year for gold. Great year for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, obviously, now as well at all-time highs. Bitcoin, not today. We were traced back down to 71,000. But can you believe Bitcoin 71,000? Today is the 16th anniversary of Bitcoin today. So it's Bitcoin's birthday today. Happy birthday, Bitcoin. At one point, you were worth nothing. Today, you are worth $71,000 per, what do they call it, the little nodes there on the blockchain there. So we'll, congratulations to everybody that's been an investor in Bitcoin. All right, with only a minute left, we do have the imbalances. Look what's happening to Uber. Hail us a ride over here, Uber. Right now, Uber is now $2 in the money off that $70 mark. But Uber's down 10% today. Not a great earnings report for Uber. I bought a little bit more in the long-term portfolio there. Not financial advice for you. That's what I have done. We're averaging into Uber. I think Uber can win in this environment. Why not? Travel, especially with oil prices. We just saw oil prices strike up a little bit there. Oil's been kept down for a little bit. That does help. I would think Uber out a little bit there, as some of those costs will be not passed on to the drivers and so on and so forth. But I guess most costs are probably passed on to the consumer. All right, so here we go with only 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, and 1. It is now Imbalance Thursday. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. One more time, I hope trick-or-treating is a safe one for you and your loved ones. All right, TLT. Hey, Raider Trader, you're talking about TLT a little bit. It is in the building right now. TLT with a nice little sell. Ford today downside, but Ford is here as well right now with a sell, but that's starting to go upside for some reason. It's Nvidia, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome, as Nvidia has a 1.5 million share buy to it as well. So there goes Nvidia. Nice call off the bottom there. NVDA. SMCI not doing a whole heck of a lot. We only have 10 minutes left. We do have the market recap show today, right? So it's going to be a big one. A lot of earnings on track there today, including Amazon and then Apple. Everybody's waiting for Apple tonight.
No, Intel?
And Intel. Yeah, Intel I think is 410. So we'll get Intel today, 405.
Yeah, they're
Intel's EPS 0.2 down, 0.02.
If they manage to somehow swing a profit, that's all it'll take.
That'd be nice.
Surprise profit is a good way to go. That's a good way to go bullish. That wasn't a big enough imbalance on Nvidia for any kind of a punch long, and it kind of immediately paired too. So it's no longer there. TLT is still there for the imbalance, but you want it to be significant. And when it's only a small imbalance, that's what happens. The spike up because the algos just see a B, and when they see a B, they just go long, and it goes right back in on NVDA. So I think there's like a nothing burger happening on them. Just double checking back in on Tesla. Tesla ends up holding that 250 after all. So good look for Tesla holding that 250 bucks. Only had the one reversion trade this afternoon on Tesla. Didn't really get it in that second time through. Double checking a couple of names in here. Yeah, right off VWAP. AMD couldn't break out VWAP. This is still reeling. Couple of days in a row now. It's on the hunt. AMD is on the hunt for maybe 130 bucks, I think, on advanced micro devices. Doesn't look good for advanced micro devices. Looking pretty nasty. Certainly, you heard Andrew talk about best of breed and how there's a more bullish look over on Nvidia. It's very, very true. We said this on earnings day. AMD is not Nvidia. Not going to get the benefit of the doubt. It's still kind of expensive on a PE basis as well. Let's go back up to the desk. We've got our favorite pirate.
Yar? So some of the trades I'm looking at right now, guys, they were just talking about that Intel, and it's the only reason I'm mentioning this. But I did just open up a strangle for Intel, grabbing the 11 first expirations. So strangle, just put and call different expirations or just at the money, whatever. I actually do think this one's going to expand. So funny enough, the options market is really only pricing in a 1 standard deviation move, but the market's pricing in 2. So this is going to be really interesting that maybe there's a mispricing from the options market. But I do count on an expansion. I don't know which direction, but again, that's why I'm grabbing a strangle. So that's my YOLO for the day.
Thank you, Andrew, for that one. One last time, here it is. It's the hot dog cannon. So we're firing off the hot dogs right now on screen. And you can see we just get out right now of Uber. So there goes Uber. We are now out of this trade, basically at the highs of the afternoon. So it was a great one there for Uber, buying the bottom and getting out there on that move back up into that level. So good move there for Uber. SMCI continues to make a fall down back on there. I was thinking about, why do hot dogs make good friends? Because they frankly tell the truth? I don't know. I Googled that one. That one's not that good. I like the relishing the experience one.
The relishing the experience was very
I like that one. Just getting hot with this thing on like that.
I can only imagine.
Ooh, all right.
I can only imagine.
We only have a half hour more.
It's gonna be a good night because the weather is supposed to be nice and warm. I don't have to bundle up.
Oh yeah, I was gonna check to see if it was gonna rain.
Yeah. It's not going to think positive thoughts.
Yeah, you know what,
the second I say it's going to be nice weather because it's warm, Ramin says in my ear, it's going to rain the second you go out trick-or-treating. That's just negativity. I'm going to play the positive thoughts that it's going to start raining the second we get back inside, and we're going to enjoy our
Now
candy.
it's pushing to 8 p.m. So I think
there you go.
Fine.
Yeah, by 8 o'clock, and my daughter's 7. We're not. If we're still out there, the teenagers are still out at 8 o'clock.
Getting better. Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I'm bringing in. I'll bring in all the extras.
There'll be lots of candy.
There's always way too much. You can't eat that much.
That's a yeah, I know John Del Segno. What's a pirate's favorite letter? Come on, man. I mean, some of these things are just
that's low hanging.
They're too easy. A. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's go over to Andrew. He's got a joke over there.
Why did the hot dog lose the race? He couldn't catch up.
That's a good one. I like that one. We don't have any.
Get me off the screen. That was a bad one.
That was a good one.
I like that one. No, I like that one.
If you have any more, please feel come in and tell us some more there, Andrew. If you do have any more jokes, that was a pretty good one actually. All right.
Fabian's like, I couldn't muster it. I'm like, no.
I couldn't muster that joke. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good as well.
No.
There's lots going on there. What's our opinion on Amazon tonight? Look, it's 355 right now. I mean, I don't. It's going to be very, very. I got to get up to the screen. I'm going to actually leave in a couple seconds here. I'm going to have to punch out of SMCI. We did get out of some of our. I'm just going to.
Market did a turn there.
I'm just going to punch out of SMCI right now. I mean, we're fine. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even on SMCI. There's SMCI. We just got out for flats at $29. So that was a good trade there for SMCI. Put that on the board, and yes, another win there for SMCI. We'll have one red name today, Robinhood. That's it. Wow. Now that I'm looking at this, one red name. AMD up, Ford up. That's 2 for 2. Google up. Peloton up. SMCI up. Uber up. That's one. Here's Uber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 and 1 today with womp womp Robinhood downside right there today. So we get womp womped on Robinhood. Yeah, look, I think Amazon will work today into the close. We've seen good numbers from Azure. We saw good numbers from Google Cloud. Amazon will trade on AWS. I think AWS will be strong. I don't think there's any worries with Amazon today. I like the stock. I like the quarter that's about to get hit, but we'll just figure it out. It's ridiculous. We already talked about this with Raider Trader. It's hard to sit there and say, I think this about a quarter. That's nice. Like, we don't know. There's only a certain amount of handful of individuals that know what this quarter is all about. So I just say we look at the past, right? Azure's been good. That's the cloud. Obviously, Google, that's Google's cloud revenue was up 35%. I think AWS, Amazon always trades on AWS numbers. So we'll wait to see right now what's happening with that. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Have a great week. All right, happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween.
And
Enjoy
yours. Hopefully you get a safe and a dry one there into...
I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, me too. I'm feeling better and better. All right, Raider Trader, get out of there. That's my spot. I'm coming over there right now. With only 3 minutes, we have the recap show ready to rock and roll. Adara, Andrew, and myself. Let's go.
Let's go get them. And I got to say, this was a good one. VLC, where is it? No. Okay, this one and then another one here from Ricardo. Why did the bear leave the market? It couldn't bear the losses. Why did the hot dog turn down the job? Because it couldn't cut the mustard. And Ari Pages, I would love for all of you brothers to dress up in unpredictable ways on a daily basis. That's asking a little bit much. Halloween, we have no problem. I don't know if we could pull it off. And every single day would be a bit much. We love to have a little fun for you guys every now and then. We get some bets going on. If the Packers ever meet the Bills in the Super Bowl or I think it'd be fantastic, and we'll do something for that. And then Shane, I like this one, Shane. Why do all hot dogs look alike? Because they're inbred. That's Shane. No, that's the one. I don't care what you say, Ramin, because they're inbred. I like that one the best. Why do all hot dogs look alike? Because they're inbred. Come on. That's a winner. It's correct. It works. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a big fan of that one. There was a big curl at 355 on almost all of the chip names. So I'm going to show you what the one I was in Micron. There's the dump right after the imbalances came out, and then there's Nvidia. Bit of a dump there going into the close. So it broke VWAP, but it is what it is. At that moment, I was shorting VWAP with a tight stop. I'm not going to sit there holding it, 50, 60 pennies against me at the end of the day. It just doesn't make any sense. The risk reward doesn't favor that kind of a move. But you are getting a little bit of sell action going into this close. It was a rough day for the markets. We're about 2% to the downside with only 1 minute left to go. So I'm looking around at who's going to actually ring the bell here. Fabian's out of his fun costume. We got the trio at the desk. So not entirely sure who is going to ring this bell with less than 1 minute to go. And if I just keep saying it, maybe someone will mosey on over. Oh, Adara is going to ring the bell in her Bratz costume. So about to wrap up what has been an awesome and fun Halloween edition of Trader TV Live. But you have to go nowhere. Why are you going nowhere? Because you still have major earnings after the bell. It's going to be right away off the bat. You're going to get Amazon and Intel, with Apple sprinkled in a little bit later. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the Raider Trader, is joining Adara with you're ringing the bell with a pair of scissors. Okay, let's do it. Why not? In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, ring it. That's fine. And why would you need a mallet if you've got a pair of scissors? That's all I know. You're good to go. So that's not a work safety thing. We're fine. So shout out to everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this Halloween edition of Trader TV Live, but we have earnings coming fast and furious after market today. So there's already some movement happening here in Amazon. I do see Amazon moving around. It just went up about $1 and then back in here. We're expecting the Amazon. We're going to get Apple. We're going to get Intel and a few other names as well. So you don't have to do anything. Just sit back, relax, because the market recap with the main trio is at the desk. We've got Raider, joined with Adara and the main man, Sean. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the earnings madness.
Relax.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, what's up, Andrew Rader? He's right here beside me. Really pleasure to have him. Oh, no, I hear him in my ear. We're going to have to
Amazon.
fix that exactly again as well. Okay, Amazon is now out, so we're going to have all of this right now.
143
Oh,
EPS versus 115 expected. That's a beat.
boom, big beat there for Amazon. Nice move to the upside. Adair will have all of those numbers. Amazon right now looks like a beat, but then it turns around. What is Amazon doing? We just hit 195. Now we're back into 185. Amazon starting to go upside a little bit. Adair, are there numbers
They
out
beat
yet?
U.S. sales. They beat. Sorry,
All
the
right,
big
keep
numbers
going.
coming in.
Yep.
Okay, 159 billion plus in net sales versus estimates of 157. That's a beat. They beat on U.S. sales. They beat on store sales. It sounds like I'm only hearing beats. EPS though.
Where's
Oh,
Azure?
sorry, AWS sales.
Yep.
Apparently, AWS sales are a miss, but sometimes the
What?
British guy in my ear gets different estimates than what I'm seeing, and he has to correct them. So right now, I'm hearing AWS net sales could be a miss, but we had a beat there for revenue. We had a beat for EPS. Sales overall, as I said here, were a beat. I was hearing a slightly different number than what I'm seeing here, but either way, a beat. Q3 158.9 versus 157.2 expected. I'm waiting for the rest of the numbers here, but it seems like most of them were a beat, though AWS might have been an issue.
Okay, so there it is right now, 194 right now for Amazon. Nice little upside move right there. Amazon taking names right here. Can we get back up to the highs of $200? We like Amazon. Good report there. Thank you for that. Exactly. Intel is now out as well. And boom goes the dynamite on Intel. That's going to be a good one as well. Intel coming out. We talked about this live on the show. Amazon right now, by the way, wow. Can you believe this? The Q3 sales is 158.9 billion. Like that sales number is absolutely ridiculous versus 157.2. But it's Intel.
13.2 billion.
Intel 13.2 billion right now. The number we were
looking at on revenue.
Okay, so the number for revenue, 13.2 billion. The look at was 13.01. We'll wait to hear EPS.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, Intel's EPS expected minus 0.2 cents. So as soon as we get that, we will get that for you. It's going to be Intel. I'm just going to plug this back into my ear. Amazon's GAAP EPS, an amazing number for Amazon. Like a heartbreaking number here for the shorts. 143 GAAP EPS beating 114. That's 143 versus 114 for Amazon. Amazon absolutely a rocket ship.
Okay.
And boy, oh boy,
do
we love Amazon. There's Intel right now. 12 cents I'm seeing on Intel. 12 cents.
2-cent loss expected.
Exactly. Big move up there for Intel. We talked about that on the main show. There was a good chance that Intel comes up and beats. Intel puts up a number, baby. They put up 12 cents a Dara versus minus 0.2 cents. So nice move up there for Intel and Amazon. So far, so good here. Wow, Amazon, bum. We keep on bumping there. Amazon right now. Boy, oh boy, are we going on a vacation. I don't know if you know this, Andrew. We talked about going on a vacation if Amazon started to bump up. This was one of it's the Katina family vacay stock right there. We bought this dip on Amazon. We really liked it. We've been buying this 173, hoping that we got back up to highs right now. Never a smart decision to maybe bet ahead of earnings, but you get rewarded today with Intel and Amazon. What do you got for us, Adara?
So it's seeing a loss here of 24 cents per share for INTC. Seeing fourth quarter revenue, 13.3 to 13.34 billion versus. Okay, so Intel lower guidance than previous. Now they're seeing about 13.3 billion. Initially seeing about 13.6 billion for the next quarter. So Intel. It looks like a bit of a lowered guidance there, but I mean, this was a really strong report. Other than that, guidance, it's not shocking the guidance this week. It's also worth noting on a non-adjusted basis, EPS drop a little bit there for sure. But again, not super surprising given the year that Intel has had.
I want to thank over 5,000 of you watching right now, so we have a bang for that one. We do have Andrew Rader in here. Any specific questions, drop them in the chat. But Andrew, I'm going to ask you quickly, any initial thoughts about either one of these two quarters right here? As Intel, you could see up 7 right here on my screen, and Amazon right up to 200. I guess a psychological level there, $200. Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, I had a strangle on this one, so hopefully that opens up higher. But yeah, as far as the Amazon, that's a good one too. Again, mega caps, these ones have been, even through earnings seasons, even the ones that have kind of been beat down, Microsoft, Meta, these guys, it's been a buy the dip trade. And again, that mega caps, those will benefit along the inflationary theme that we're expecting throughout the end of this year. So,
All right, good look right there. The next couple names that we're going to look for here. So we've got Amazon, we've got Intel, we have U.S. Steel, which is going to be letter X coming through. Letter X will be coming through. And again, remember, we have the buyout with Nippon as well. That should be, again, a very, very interesting name to look at as we've had the ups and downs of this trials and tribulations of United States Steel Corporation as, again, election could be important here for X. And then we have a small little company that maybe some people are interested in, Apple, coming through at 4:30. We do not have that number yet. Andrew and I talked about this a little bit while we just came on air right here. The SPY finishing at their lows, right at the 50-period moving average. Andrew, you've been talking about 570 for a minute.
Yep.
That has come into play there right at the close. So congratulations. We hit that number there. 570. What do we think now, though? Because if you're looking at the daily chart, this could be a spot where we've had past support back into these October lows. Seasonality may be changing over tomorrow, the first day of November. Do things change that quickly when we're talking about seasonality?
Yeah, when we talk about seasonalities, again, October is typically the most volatile month of the year. You do expect a max pain move. Almost every October, you can go back in history, 2020 bottom, 2021, 2023, things like that. Every October, you expect a max pain move, whether it's at the highs or lows. And so with this gap down in the recent movements today, it could very well be that Apple is the reason in these earnings to get us out of this, and we see a lot of buying pressure moving forward to follow the positive seasonals we typically see into November and December. Regardless, I am still going to be longing certain sectors, rate cut sectors, things like solar, things like software, things that really start to benefit out of that, as well as commodities, as we bet on the TNX breaking down additionally with the dollar being the topping cycles of the week. So within the next week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm going to be betting on commodities as well to go at the upside. But yeah, definitely it's going to be interesting. And if we gap down, Apple misses, then we're going to probably enter a rebalancing period where you get the kind of seasonal expectations are now kind of out of the window, and you start to wonder, okay, well, it's likely to be a consolidation of some sort, things like that. So we'll dive into that. But
yeah, we'll keep looking out on that. Andrew will be joining us hopefully weekly as we go forward here, and we're really happy to have him in the building right now until tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So join us back tomorrow as Obi and Neil will be on the main show, and Raider will be here all day, as will Adara. Okay, let's go over some quick little ETFs here, some quick little sector review. There was not much green today. We had tan to the upside right there, 2.5%. But you can see here on the daily, this ETF, of course, solar continues to be beat up. We had Enphase on talk today as well with Andrew. XLU down upside today, so our utilities started to make a nice little bounce off. But again, pullbacks in most ETFs you're going to see over the last week. XLE as well, a nice play today as we did have more uncertainty hitting the wires with Iran possibly firing again in the near future, as reported by Axios, I believe. XLK and NASDAQ today, what a pullback, not a great day. You can see XLK, the more popular ETF though, traded is triple Qs right now. So that's, again, down into the 50 period. I think it might be time to buy this. You're all the way back to what? June levels right now. The whole NASDAQ, Amazon, Intel, with their earnings, great. But the NASDAQ just right back here to these levels. We talked about Meta as well on earnings from yesterday. Meta pulled back into some levels, but these only goes back to September lows or highs, I guess. Bringing that back in. It's the Qs that go all the way back to June right now. A lot taken out. Apple's a very interesting name, as we talked about that as well. As the market goes, we're right back into these June, July levels again. So you're sort of seeing all of summer unwind right in front of our eyes, but Apple's been really stuck in a spot so far here. Intel, guys, just continues to go, Adara. There's Intel's little check there. What you're looking for on a daily chart, that's 2450 right there for Intel. And again, I don't suggest you hop in and start trading any of these earnings as we hit, right? What you're trying to do now is say, what about tomorrow's trade? What are we trying to put on looking into next week? And when I look at Intel, you've just come right up into these levels. Let's see if the news is good enough to carry forward right now with Intel. But I saw Adara. Was there something that you want to
Yeah, I'm going to summarize some stuff here. So
Sure,
Amazon, I'm seeing more numbers coming out of AMZN. They guided here Q4 net sales between $181.5 and $188.5 billion. I'm not seeing how that compares to an estimated guidance. It's worth noting their AWS segment sales up by 19% year over year. International segment up 12%. North America segment up 9%. Now let's talk a bit about Intel, because they actually, for once, having some positive guidance. No, I'm joking, but like honestly, maybe it is a big deal. We do have Intel here. They did beat earnings. Okay, apparently their adjusted Q3 EPS was a miss. That's not what I'm seeing here, but I'm seeing a couple different numbers from INTC. I'm seeing on one hand a beat of 12 cents versus an expected loss of 2 cents. I'm also seeing apparently a loss of 46 cents compared to an expected 2 cent loss. So the guidance is consistent. I'm seeing a couple different numbers, but we know sometimes EPS is calculated differently. Either way, they did announce apparently their 18A development is progressing well. They're going to have products launching in 2025. Also, one thing I forgot about Amazon, they said there's going to be this AWS reInvent event. That is apparently going to be happening, this Amazon or AWS event, the week after Thanksgiving. I'm not sure what dates that are going to be. I just saw new news coming out of Intel on October 28th. They approved a series of cost and capital reduction initiatives. They expect to recognize $3 billion of restructuring charges related to these actions, but apparently working on these cost and capital initiatives. I also saw some requests for a team in the chat. So let's take a look at Altesian, because I know there are lots of year-over-year increases. I put some of those numbers in the chat. I still am not seeing how they compare to estimates here. Let's see if I have these estimates out for Altesian. Yeah, revenue estimate of 1.15 billion, and then EPS of 64 cents per share. I'm not seeing EPS, but revenue here. Okay, there we go. We beat here in EPS. 77 cents versus 64 expected. 1.188 billion versus 1.155 billion expected for revenue. So good look here for TEAM. I will stop ranting about earnings now, for now.
Okay, we gave the idea on the midday show there to buy some Intel possibly against that minus 2 cents. Thought that there was a chance for them to beat. They do that. We'll look at Nvidia right now. Not much happening here in the after hours with that movement. So Intel and Nvidia, they're in two different leagues right now. So we're not really worried too much about that. This is what a live level 2 looks like right now for Intel. 24.25 by 24.26. So if you are swinging this or looking to take advantage of this move right now, there is liquidity right now in the marketplace. You shouldn't be getting too much slippage if you are very specific with your pricing. So just watch out for that, but this is what a live level 2 looks like on Intel right now, pushing highs up 8%. Remember though, the implied move on Intel was 10%. So Andrew, we talk about that all the time. Yep. How can you possibly make money if you're in the options? I know you're in this, I think, for the strangle you had mentioned there. Yep. A, maybe what is a strangle? And B, are you happy with the move that right now is pretty much in line with expectation?
Yeah, for sure. So right when you get it, of course, I got it near the close of the day. So it's up, I think, what, 8% after hours? Yep. But realistically, I think it's a 13% move. But again, that beat the expectations of what Intel was actually predicting here. But in the markets, when it comes to what earnings to take, we always take this. Is it worth taking Amazon? Is it worth taking Apple? All these questions. What you want to scour is what are the earnings that not everyone is going into. And that, of course, can increase IV a ton. Of course, equity versus options is a different game plan. People with equity can position into these with kind of a risk-free trade because well, not risk-free, but in a way because they don't lose to if they don't meet an expectation. The deadly thing about options is you can have a move, you can guess the right direction, and still not make money if it doesn't meet the expectations of what the market was predicting for that earnings. Right. In the case of Intel, there was actually a mispricing of the options from 1 standard deviation, at least from what the options were predicting, but the markets were predicting a 2 standard deviation move in the equity market. So that kind of mispricing in my mind is why I took that strangle, which a strangle is just at the money on both calls and puts. It's not necessarily the same strike. Same strike would be a straddle, which would be like 35 calls, 35 puts, etc. So that's why I chose to pick that, which of course hopefully works out even more tomorrow. Who knows? It'll gap up even more, maybe pre-market tomorrow.
We still have Juniper Networks coming on through today as well. And it's actually a great point by Andrew because although we're showing here up 8.5%, it is a good call because we were down 4.5 into that print. So you got to sort of add 4.5 to that. So it is like a 12 to 13% move right now to the upside for Intel. So a great call there. This is a 5-minute chart. Amazon is bleeding back in just a little bit. Let's take the opportunity right now to just have a look here at the different sectors. Here's Juniper. Juniper is now out. So this could be, JNPR. Type it slower and you'll get it right there. So here it comes. Let's look at a 1-minute chart. Revenue of 1.13 billion. Looks like a better beat there for Juniper right now. Nice move to the upside. Juniper again, been really treated and traded well. hovering around that 50-period moving average. Juniper looks like they will have that number in their pocket there on a beat. All right, look, it's always interesting to dig a little bit deeper when we look at different ETFs. So if we're going to look right here at industrials right now, we have Paychex here up 20% today. On the consumer staples, Philip Morris with a nice day there Altria up 7.5% in consumer staples. There's PayPal right here in financials leading the way today up. I mean, the S&P was down 1.8%. PayPal today up 1.38%, as you can see right here. PayPal, I'll just highlight some of these coming through again right now. ETR in the utilities here, Entergy Corporation, not sure what's up with that. That's a big move up, 15% right there, leading the way today. We have Dominion. This is a very interesting name. We talk about Dominion as they are, of course, involved with uranium plays. That's D right there as well. Coming in, Conoco here in energy. That's a nice play, up 6% today. Marathon up today as well. Good play. VLO, we love Valero, but that's on a definite downside move there for Valero. We'll have to find out what's going on with refining. And there's the marijuana play. We sort of highlighted that a little bit. MSOS, again, with its 5th straight down day right now for MSOS. What led the way in the retail sector today? Carvana, wow, big move there. Off earnings, up 19% goes Carvana today. Etsy also off earnings, up 7 points, but Etsy's been pretty beat up to the downside right there, all the way down into $48 now with a nice recovery day for them. Is there something over there on that side?
Yeah, something's happening. Just worth noting here on Team, apparently they have approved a $1.5 billion repurchase program after completing their existing $1 billion repurchase program. So more buybacks for TEAM. Also here, they're seeing their Q2 revenue guidance of $1.233 billion to $1.24 billion versus 1.232 expected. So just above estimates there for TEAM revenue guidance with that buyback.
All right, U.S. Steel right now coming back in again. This could be another play that you're talking about, Make America Great Again and Build Back Better plan. U.S. Steel should be in play. United States Steel right now with their earnings. It is a downside move right now. We'll get those numbers very, very soon, but the third quarter results are now out for U.S. Steel. Does make that move into 37. Now it's trying to get back out, back to the upside when those numbers hit. And well, they've hit, but when we get them to you, we will have an official release for U.S. Steel letter X right now, trying to make a move now. Maybe it's not out. I don't know. It's right back to where it is right now. Having a problem trying to find out for that right now. As U.S. Steel trying to go back up to the upside. Wow, Intel, man. There it goes again, Andrew. Now up 10%. Bang. Give back 4. That's 13 to 14% move now to the upside for Intel. And yes, it is trying to get above right now. That level we're looking for with interest is 24.75. If we can break above that, that would be really, really nice right now. All right, U.S. Steel is now out. So, Adara, what do we have?
Okay, Q3 adjusted EPS here a beat, so 56 cents. Versus 47 cents expected. We also have a sales beat, 3.85 billion versus 3.77 billion expected here. Apparently, though, their EPS is actually a 60% decrease year over year. Let me see how their revenue, their revenue also here down about 13%. So beating estimates, but down pretty significantly on a year over year basis.
All right, good move up there for U.S. Steel. We want to say happy Halloween to everybody out there as we have the pirate, a brat doll, and a hot dog, I guess. So we'll say happy Halloween to everybody. Any plans for Halloween tonight, Adara?
I'm getting my nails done, so that will be happening. That's my big plan, and then probably trying not to sleep because last time I fell asleep while getting my nails done. A very characteristic.
That's kind of relaxing. I feel like you get your nails done there. Do you ever fall asleep when you get your nails done?
No, not even. I don't even think I'm awake when I get my nails done. Or like.
What are your Halloween? What are your guys' Halloween plans?
I'm gonna go plunder some villages, take over some cargo ships.
Nice.
Get that candy. Yeah.
How else am I supposed to trick or treat? Right? They say I trick or treat, and they pick treat, and it's a trick. So.
There's too many tricky.
What happens as a kid? My fear was when I went up and say trick or treat, it was like a polite thing to say. What happens when the old scary guy says trick? What would happen then? I mean, that's...
Maybe just say a joke or something? I don't know. You'd have to give them a trick. Okay. That's where you just say, like, you go like this. Oh, look at, here's $1 I just pulled from your ear. Like that, stuff like that. Come on, man. All right, danger. What would you have on your hot dog? Like, what are the main toppings that you'd have? Last question, then we got to get back to it.
This is controversial, but nothing...
Plain.
Nothing. Just maybe a mustard, but I'm not a ketchup guy.
I like that.
I think ketchup are good on fries, but when it gets to hot dogs, it gets messy. So.
All right, so just a quick little update here. Amazon, thank you for that one. As we go to, I like that, man. I think mustard is definitely a staple there. Ketchup is not for everybody unless you're my kids. They love
Intel at
ketchup.
15%.
Yeah, Intel absolutely ripping. We'll continue to watch out for that. Amazon, though, I just want to touch base on this one. Q3 sales huge, 158.9 versus 157.2. Amazon's 2024 GAAP EPS, 143 beating 114. A big move up there for Amazon. And again, it's going to look like it's not a big move, but again, Amazon was down that 4%. So it's about a 5% move to the upside right now for Amazon. Closing the day at 185, putting $8 back onto that name. As we can see, Amazon having a problem with that Bezos 200 level. We know that they've been selling. He's come out, talked about selling in at that level. Is there more to come from Mr. Bezos? I thought he was done, but we'll wait to see if there is any sort of effect on Amazon right now, pulling back in. And there's the big one of the day right now. There goes Intel right now, up 15%. We talked about that idea, man. I mean, there was only so much room for it to go to the downside. A well-hated name right at the 50 period. We talked about names. I mean, if this is a setup, 50 period bounce, guess what we're in touch for right now? Look at Apple. Apple's right here at the 50 period, looking for a bounce as well. If they get 15% on Apple like they got on Intel, then this name is gone. 15% on Apple is up $40 at least from here, which puts us into the stratosphere of 260. Apple is moments away. I want to thank everybody for staying with us right now as we go over some different earnings plays into today. But just real quick, the stock heat map for the day. It was an ugly day today in the markets. There's no doubt about that. The NASDAQ finished down over 2.6%. The ES slightly better than that at 1.8%. But the names that were hit today, oh boy, it was the big dog right there. It was Mr. Softy coming out with a soft number, I guess, or at least the street thought. So down 6% today. Microsoft, Meta down 4%. These quarters were not even that bad. Hey, Oracle at least tried to help us up a little bit. Down 4% on Oracle, down 2% on Google. Hey, Google, you reported a good number yesterday. You're hit today. It cannot prop up the whole market, can it? No, it cannot. Nvidia down 5%. Broadcom, Andrew, we talked about Broadcom. You like Broadcom as a possible recovery. That name down 4% as well today. I like Berkshire as a little proxy for the whole market. Getting some insurance names. I like Berkshire, that down 0.9. There's Amazon. Funny that Amazon today down 3.28%. We see that upside move into the close and into earnings, of course. And then Walmart holding fort there, 0.69. So just a little look at some interesting names moving around there. We do have another $10 super chat from Mr. Kyle Burdett. Let's go over to the screen right now. He says, big love for the Pirate Man this week. Yes, we want to say a big thank you to Andrew right behind us right now, or right beside us. Also, best hot dog, sauerkraut, diced onion, and Thousand Island dressing. We like that one. Thank you, Kyle Burdett. I love the diced. You know what I don't mind on a hot dog? Diced tomatoes as well. I don't think that's the Italian in me. Like put some tomatoes in everything. So that's not bad. Gives it a little different taste coming through. All right, we wait for Apple. Apple's numbers, if you're thinking about, hey, what are we looking for exactly? We're looking for an EPS estimate of $1.49 for the quarter for Apple. We're looking at revenues of, it's going to be less than Amazon's, but $94.48 billion in estimated revenue for Apple. That's what we're waiting for. The implied move, though, is only 4% in the options market. So if we get an outsized move in Apple, we'll pay attention to that. Intel, though, keeps on climbing, but we just fall back a little bit now, up 9% right here, up over 15% at one point on this move. Intel comes up with 12 cents. They beat 12 cents to the green. They're in the black now, Intel. They were red looking for minus 2 cents. They get plus 12 cents there for AMZN. So there we go. Thank you so much. Rolling eye there. Loving all of the costumes. We want to thank you so much for that one. It's funny to see gold pull back today. You actually had some comments on silver a little bit there. So gold with slight little pullback there, looking okay. Silver here. We talked about how silver, SLW, load, Load, not loading. Is it SLW?
SLV.
SLV, what am I even doing there? SLV, I was like, why is it not loading? Okay, so right there, on a daily, we already have that breakout there in and around that $29.80, $30 mark. But I think silver on a weekly, maybe if you have a little more patience and you're looking for things here, silver definitely making that nice little move to the upside, breaking through $25 there on silver. So, all right, everybody waiting for Apple to come in, man. The TQQs, the NASDAQ is pretty much at highs. I mean, if you're going to look at a weekly chart, we just touched $500 just a couple days ago. That was in and around these highs. NASDAQ looking to pull back a little bit here, and it's going to be a lot on the back of Tim Cook and company. Will this stock get cooked, or will we be cooking back up there to the upside right now, up over $500? We do this all the time.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I mean, Adara's had that one for a few months there with Tim Cook. And we're cooking right there with Apple. So any thoughts on Apple before we get the quarter there, Andrew?
I have no clue, but I will say that this earnings is really the one that will set the expectation for the bottoming cycle, if you want to call that.
Okay.
Again, like let's say, okay, October is the seasonal bottom. If Apple misses and the markets continue to tank, that's going to delay when we expect any strength. We even change where we expect strength, right? It's not that the whole markets are going to go up through November and December. They might chop up. They might even just go sideways. But the reality of it is the better trade is to the upside in most sectors or in a lot of sectors. And so what we'll be watching for specifically is if Apple tanks, if it does do that, then that will delay the bottoming cycle and it will put a different factor into what my trade plan is, such as if Apple tanks, then I'm going to be looking at short a lot of these names until the dollar starts to break down and until, of course, that TNX gets under 4.2, which I've been screaming all week. Write it down on your calendar, 4.2. As soon as TNX gets under 4.2, that is the thesis and the trigger to long TLT and IWM. That's your long, guys.
All right, great analysis there. We have over 3 minutes left, only 3 minutes left, but we just did get a super chat. I'll call this up right now and show it to everybody. They want to ask the pirate right here, and we'll do that. Oops, I just closed that super chat. Yeah, it says ask the pirate, so we'll get that right here. Here it is right here from View for $10. Does the pirate like the mouse in the house with Disney with that breakout setup? So I'm going to call Disney up right now. This is a 1 minute chart for Disney. I guess we're talking breakout over here, Andrew, 97.50 to the upside. What are your thoughts right here on Disney?
So this is one I actually talked about on the stream. If you weren't here, cool. I longed 11.8, which is November 8th calls for at the money strike. Now, my thesis behind this was just the setup from a technical standpoint. You did have that max pain point, I think, just in April, right after April, I think, if you look at the daily. Yeah, right down there.
This is April.
Right here.
Oh, right here.
August. My bad. I said April. I meant August.
Oh, good.
But right there, and then you obviously are consolidating at the highs. I mentioned this as well, that the key principle you want to pay attention to is the watering hole principle, what I call it. The more times a zone or liquidity zone, support or resistance, whatever you want to call it, the more times it's tagged, the more likely that the next touch to it is going to break through. Watering hole principle. The more water, the animals that come to the watering hole, the faster it drains and the more likely they are to go to the next one. So the more tags you have on a zone, the more you want to bet against it. Even Sean and Neil talk about it a lot. They talk about, I think, the flat bottom break or something?
Yep,
there you go. So that's an idea where you have a flat bottom, you go up, and then once you come back down, that flat bottom had tagged that zone many, many times before, and so you're likely to break through it. So that's it.
So what what would be the strike on that? You looking for 100? What did you say?
Just at the money. So literally, I think I bought like 2 hours before close, so that would have been 97, 98.
Right. So with earnings coming November 14th, those will expire on the 8th. So we'll pay attention to that.
Yes, sir.
Nowhere else you're going to get this right now. Apple's popping right now quite nicely. You can see on the top, we are getting ready. People are getting excited for Apple earnings. We'll put this up right now to a 1 minute chart as there it goes right here. And there it is over here. If you could see on your top left, I'll try to have this Apple right there. This is a live level 2 quote right now of Apple, starting to burn up a little bit here as we have moments away. We have Adara. She's ready to rock and roll with this number. Just for an update, we are looking for 149 EPS estimate. Wow, what a number that would be to get that. We are also looking for revenues of $94.48 billion. It's Apple. Get ready. Stay right here with us. Just seconds away from Apple's report. Right now, it's 227.50, looking like we're down about 1%. So let's take that in consideration. position. They're looking for a 4% move in Apple. We'll wait for those numbers. I think the call will be really important. Let's hear what they're seeing. Is there backlog? Are they able to ship enough units? What's the iPhone 16 looking like? What has been some of the feedback maybe from iOS 18 as Apple Intelligence is coming through? Is he cooking or not? We're about to see very, very soon. It's 2:27:50 and it is Apple time. We are going to stay late. Traders stay late.
Traders stay
Apple
late.
is out right now, 97 cents, a big miss for Apple. EPS estimate $1.49 right now. Looks like the revenue looks to be better, but right now, oh no, Apple downside,
that EPS
not
missed.
good. That's where I was. The
97 cents versus 149 expected.
Yeah, exactly. 97 cents there for Apple, sending this name downside right now. 94.9 billion, a beat on sales, a beat on revenue, but that EPS number scaring everybody. There must be something in that number. We just fell down to $220. You are right, Sean. That is that fall down in there to 227. There's the move right here. Forget about this chart. It is not right. What we're looking for right now, iPhones, way higher, 46.2 something versus 45 for iPhone. So right now, oh, there it is. It's a bad number that we gave you. It's $1.64 adjusted earnings. It is not a miss on the EPS. A bad number reported early. The adjusted earnings right now given to you $1.64. And bang right there for Apple. Those who doubt Tim get cooked, as right now up to 228, 229. That number has been fixed up. But wow, this is a heart attack waiting to happen right now because Apple goes down to 220, it goes up to 230, and now it comes back one more time into 220. This looks like it might be a non-event right now. We're going to get this Mac sales 7.74 versus 7.6. Apple go up, Apple go down. iPad numbers 6.95 versus 6.44. That's a beat. They're a beat everywhere. Wearables are a beat. The EPS number is 164. That is a beat. But right now, Apple's chilling at 225. So let's go to the daily chart just really to see if we are in a problem. Adara, when you are ready to review everything, let's go. But
so we can go over stuff. Basically, here's the thing. I like 97 cents is what I'm seeing circulated as well on media. That is the gap EPS, okay?
Right.
The adjusted and the gap can sometimes be different. We've had that happen before where the numbers are different. Gap EPS of 97 cents, from what I'm seeing, this actually has a reason behind it. It was impacted by a one-time charge related to a European tax decision, so more EU-related stuff. The adjusted EPS, though, is actually up 12% year over year. That's excluding the one-time charge, though. If you include the one-time charge, they missed by pretty hard here. Services revenue at an all-time high, $24.97 billion. Apparently, though, that was a miss on estimates. Operating cash flow here, nearly $27 billion, which has enabled $29 billion in stock returns. They have, what else are we saying here? They have the same dividend here, 25 cents per share. But in terms of, they missed here on China, not a huge surprise, 15.4 billion versus 15.8 expected. Mac revenue is in line. Operating expenses a miss here. But again, top line numbers, they beat on revenue. They missed on EPS, but beat and adjusted.
I think this is a buy the dip opportunity. I'm not really seeing anything that's that bad. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers here. Mac beat, iPad beat, iPhone beat, EPS beat. I don't sales net sales beat overall company wide. So I like Apple. We'll figure out what's going on right now as we are now down. Remember, we were down 1% heading into this move, so we're expecting 4%. So it looks like, well, here we go. Now we're starting to get ramped up. Here's a live level 2 again right now of Apple 222. Liquidity, if you're looking to trade this thing right now, again, the chart is not updating. That's fine. Our chart servers turn off. What you're looking for right here is this number, 221.96. Liquidity, there's not much on the bid, man. There's not much anywhere as Apple could fall in, and now it is right here, making those new moves for Apple. New lows right now coming in for AAPL. Let me just have a quick check on what it looks like on a 5-minute. We are going to let you guys go in just a minute. There is a nice push down now for Apple. Apple getting taken out a little bit right now, down 3% after hours. Remember, it was already down 1. Now you're down 4. Apple looks like it wants to get into the lows right now. All right, quickly, Amazon right now. We're going to get Andrew, give me your opinion right now in a couple seconds on the move for Apple, if there's anything interesting that you're seeing. All right, Amazon holding 193. Good move there. We like that. We like that play. Intel holding the highs. I mean, that's going to be a good one as well. So it looks like Intel, Amazon, both kind of to the upside right now. So if you got either one of those stocks, you're happy. If you got the big dog, you're probably not. So any thoughts on this early action here in Apple?
Yeah, so there are some mechanics to the market when we talk about, hey, you know, if it is a buy the dip, when is the reversal going to happen? What's going to happen? We have to understand the principle of momentum, that the faster you go to the downside, there are mechanics to how markets work. And the pace of which a stock goes affects directly what's going to happen to it. There was a point in time when GameStop was valued than more real companies that actually are around today while GameStop isn't. Why is that? What is that? It's the mechanics of the market, that there are mechanics, there are gears that turn in the machine, in the engine bay, and you might not be able to see all of them, and of course you can understand them, but you have to know why. It's absolutely essential. So something like Apple, when I'm going, okay, is it going to be a buy the dip trade? What's going to happen? It's going to push back that time frame. Like I said, if Apple's gapping down, well then I'm not just going to go buy calls that open tomorrow. It's going to be, okay, well momentum's to the downside, so can we flush? Can we actually hit a point of pain where now the least resistance is to the upside, which I don't think we were going to hit this week, at least tomorrow, or maybe even until late next week.
All right, thank you everybody for staying late. We want to give a big thank you again to Andrew Rader, who's been here with us for a few days, and we'll be here tomorrow, so get ready for that one. Tomorrow, no earnings on a Friday after market, but should be a fun one. We'll do a Q&A with Andrew tomorrow, and that should be a lot of fun coming into the last day of the week. Pretty interesting couple days, right? We had Microsoft, we had Amazon, we had Google, them all pretty much, right? We'll just wait for AMD downside. Obviously, we'll wait now for Nvidia to come in the next couple weeks. I do like that Disney call. Again, it doesn't all have to be big tech, right? Take a look at some different names.
Right.
US Steel reported today. You had Enphase on your mind earlier as well. Good trade on Intel. We'll see if it can hold some of those highs in there tomorrow. But hey, again, there it is, man. We got to get out of here. It's Halloween. It's happy Halloween to everybody. Thanks to the Pirate. Thanks to Adara as well. I was dressed up as this man last year, but he's like, guys, we got to get out of here. All right, it's hot dog time. Fire them off. Happy Halloween. Be safe. I hope you get lots of candy. Take it easy tonight. Hope the weather is your friend. We will see everybody live tomorrow. For Raider Trader, for Miss Adara, this is Trader TV Live. This is the best it gets, baby. And we're back tomorrow at 8:30. Happy Halloween.